Chapter 221. Lin Qianqian's face was twisted. When she spoke, it was as if her throat had been torn. Lin Qianqian looked at Ning Shu coldly with a hint of fear in her eyes. She took a step towards Ning Shu, but then stopped. Su Manyu was so scared that she hid behind Ning Shu. Ning Shu felt the spirit orb in his hand tremble, as if it was excited that the spirit in front of it was very strong. Lin Qianqian was very afraid of the spirit orb in Ning Shu's hand. She snorted coldly, and suddenly, a strong wind blew around them. Then, she lifted her leg and kicked at the street lamp on the side of the road. Then, the plaster on her leg broke. How painful was that? Lin Qianqian broke the plaster on her leg and flew away. In the blink of an eye, she was gone. She flew away. Flew. Su Manyu's eyes were blank. Am I seeing things? She can fly after being possessed? Su Manyu patted her chest. It's good that she's gone. Oh my god, I was scared to death. Zhuang Yutong, I feel that the ghost is quite afraid of you. Why? Zhuang Yutong asked Ning Shu. Ning Shu ignored Zhuang Yutong and frowned. Where was the ghost going? Do you know where Ji Qingyuan's house is? Ning Shu could only think of Lin Qianqian going to find Ji Qingyuan. Su Manyu nodded. I know. Ah, what are we doing? Where are we going in the middle of the night? Ning Shu pulled Su Manyu away and said, we're going to Ji Qingyuan's house. Lin Qianqian went to find him. I'm not going. It's such a dangerous event. I'm not going. Su Manyu wanted to go back, but Ning Shu dragged her away. Damn, Zhuang Yutong, you're a freakishly strong woman. By the time Ning Shu and Su Manyu arrived at Ji Qingyuan's house, the two parties had already started fighting. Lin Qianqian was fighting against a man wearing a Taoist robe with his hair in a bun and holding a horsetail whisk in his hand. He looked exactly like a Taoist priest in ancient times. At that moment, Ji Qingyuan was standing next to an indifferent man. This man looked a lot like Ji Qingyuan and was most likely Ji Qingyuan's father. He stood at the entrance of the villa and looked at Lin Qianqian, who was standing not too far away. His face was filled with disgust. On the other hand, Ji Qingyuan's face was filled with worry and despair. His gaze was focused on Lin Qianqian's legs. The cast on her legs had already shattered. Now that the female ghost was torturing her legs, Lin Qianqian's legs really couldn't be saved. Get lost, ox-nosed old Taoist. Lin Qianqian roared at the old Taoist priest with hatred. Every time the female ghost became agitated, the black aura around her became thicker. Lin Qianqian's entire face seemed to be shrouded in black smoke, and her face couldn't be seen clearly. You're an evil creature to begin with. Today, I'll destroy your soul. The old Taoist priest's expression didn't change. He took out a talisman from his pocket and held it between his fingers. He chanted a spell, and the talisman glowed with golden light as it rushed toward Lin Qianqian. Lin Qianqian dodged the talisman. Her entire body was covered in yin qi. Ferocious souls could even be seen emerging from her body and roaring, blocking the golden light from the talisman for her. When the golden light from the talisman shone on them, the ferocious souls vanished into thin air. Ning Shu's sharp eyes saw that Zhang Yuyan's soul was caught in the middle of the talisman. Her face was contorted in pain, but it disappeared in an instant. These souls were probably the souls that the female ghost had devoured. This female ghost was really ruthless. Even after Zhang Yuyan's death, she still didn't let her go. In the original plot, Zhuang Yutong's soul had been able to escape. She had sacrificed something precious to counterattack. She was considered lucky. You evil creature, how dare you absorb so many souls? If I don't kill you today, I'm afraid you'll bring disaster to the world. The old Taoist priest's expression was a little angry. He made a spell with his fingers, and the talisman exploded with a strong golden light. It shone on Lin Qianqian, and the black aura and souls on her body quickly dissipated. Ah! Lin Qianqian let out a shrill and angry roar. Suddenly, the surrounding sand and pebbles flew. Lin Qianqian's voice was filled with hatred. Old Taoist priest, you almost destroyed my soul more than 10 years ago. Today, I want you to die. Previously, I thought that the heavens were kind and spared your life to let you reincarnate. I didn't expect you to be so stubborn and evil. Today, I'll kill you. I won't show any mercy. After the old Taoist priest finished speaking, he began to chant a spell. Lin Qianqian seemed to be furious. She didn't care about the talisman on her body anymore. She pounced towards Ji Qingyuan. She looked at Ji Qingyuan with a venomous gaze. She reached out her fingers, and sharp nails instantly grew out. She aimed for Ji Qingyuan's heart. Ji Qingyuan's father stood in front of Ji Qingyuan. Lin Qianqian's expression became even more venomous. She slowed down, but was still hurt by the golden light that exploded from Ji Qingyuan's father. She let out a sharp cry. Fuck, Uncle Ji is so powerful. Su Manyu saw this scene and said in surprise. Ning Shu didn't think that Ji Qingyuan's father was that powerful. He guessed that Ji Qingyuan's father had something to protect him. Ji Jinyan, I want you dead. I want you dead. I'll drag you to hell. Ji Jinyan, the female ghost roared at Ji Qingyuan's father. Ji Jinyan's expression was indifferent. He looked at Lin Qianqian with disdain. Who do you think you are? How dare you attack my son? Tears of blood flowed out of Lin Qianqian's eyes. She looked at Ji Jinyan with hatred and sadness. Why are you doing this to me? Why not? Who do you think you are? Ji Jinyan's expression was indifferent. It was as if the female ghost in front of him was an ant. Su Manyu raised her eyebrows. Does this female ghost know Uncle Ji? There must be some grudge between them. Ning Shu felt that everyone in the dormitory was implicated. Look at the male lead's father. When the female ghost came to his door, he was still arrogant and looked disdainful and indifferent. On the other hand, the female ghost in front of Ji Jinyan looked like a little girl who had been hurt. She was unwilling, resentful, and full of resentment. A man and a woman. It was obvious what was going on. Ning Shu felt that it was boring. It was this kind of love thing again. Ning Shu said to Su Manyu, I dare say that this female ghost loves your Uncle Ji, but your Uncle Ji doesn't like her. She was probably another female supporting character in someone else's love story. Moreover, she was a ruthless one. Su Manyu glanced at Ning Shu. I'm not blind. The female ghost was probably driven mad by Ji Jinyan's attitude. She roared crazily and vomited blood. When Ji Qingyuan saw Lin Qianqian vomiting blood, he anxiously shouted, Qianqian. Ji Jinyan grabbed Ji Qingyuan and said indifferently, it's a female ghost now. Are you going to die? Dad, Qianqian's body won't be able to take it. Ji Qingyuan's face was full of pain. Ji Jinyan's face was cold. He was indifferent to his son's words. Chapter 222. Ning Shu felt that Ji Jinyan was truly a cold-hearted person. His indifference came from his bones. Even when facing his own son, he didn't show much emotion. Ji Jinyan, Ji Jinyan. Lin Qianqian called out his name again and again. Every word was like a curse, making one's heart turn cold. Su Manyu hugged Ning Shu's arm tightly. Ning Shu said, Zhuang Yutong, I'm so scared. Ning Shu was speechless. There was no point in being scared. Under the moonlight, the bloody tears on Lin Qianqian's face looked even more eerie and terrifying. She rushed towards Ji Jinyan like a madwoman, but she was injured by the golden light on Ji Jinyan's body. The black aura on her body became thinner. But she still rushed towards Ji Jinyan as if she was committing suicide. Lin Qianqian was stuck to the talisman. She screamed and fell to the ground. The black aura on her body dissipated. Lin Qianqian looked at the cold Ji Jinyan with tears of blood. She looked pitiful and sentimental. Ji Jinyan, I love you so much. I love you so much. For you, I'll do anything. Even if I die, you won't even look at me. Lin Qianqian cried and kept vomiting black blood. Seeing Lin Qianqian like this, Ji Qingyuan was so anxious that he was about to cry. But he was held back by his father. He panicked. The old Taoist priest made a gesture with his fingers and the talisman on Lin Qianqian shone brighter. Lin Qianqian screamed in pain. In the distance, Ning Shu and Su Manyu covered their ears. Seeing his girlfriend in pain, Ji Qingyuan begged the old Taoist priest, please save Qianqian. The old Taoist priest chanted a spell and a thick black aura exploded from Lin Qianqian's body. Then, the black aura left Lin Qianqian's body. She lay on the ground, unconscious. Qianqian. Ji Qingyuan rushed over and hugged Lin Qianqian's body. But her body was cold as if she was about to die. Ji Jinyan, please look at me. Look at me. I love you so much. I can die for you. Why can't you love me? What's so good about her? The female ghost begged Ji Jinyan. Her voice was no longer mournful and eerie, but the elegant and clear voice of a woman. Why? Can't you look at me? I love you. I really love you. Ji Jinyan's face was cold and expressionless. He was indifferent to the female ghost's words and did not even lift his eyelids. Ning Shu had never seen such a cold person. Su Manyu asked, Ning Shu is not like his father. I'm talking about his temperament. His father is so cold. Su Manyu said, after Ji Qingyuan's mother died, he became like this. I heard that he couldn't accept his wife's death and was very cold to his son. His aunt died of postpartum hemorrhage. So she died of dystocia. He probably loved his wife so much that he didn't even care about his son who caused his wife's death. TSK. What a man with deep love. Now, there was a woman, oh, no, a female ghost who loved him so sadly, but he didn't feel anything. It was really pitiful to fall in love with such a man. He wouldn't look at you at all. He gave all his love to one person. Ji Qingyuan's mother was actually very lucky to have a man who cared about her and loved her so much. The female ghost saw that Ji Jinyan didn't speak and was almost beaten to death by the old Taoist priest. Her soul became thin. The black aura around the female ghost dissipated, revealing her true appearance. She was wearing a dress and had a slim figure. Her hair was like seaweed. Just looking at her back, she was very beautiful. Ji Jinyan, I love you. I'm willing to do anything for you. The female ghost rushed towards Ji Jinyan. Even if I die, I want to die in your arms. Ji Jinyan looked up and coldly glanced at the female ghost rushing over. He said coldly, what right do you have to die in my arms? The female ghost was hit by the old Taoist priest. Her entire soul dissipated. Her voice was filled with great sadness. Ji Jinyan, even at this point, I still can't bear to hurt you. Can't bear to. The female ghost's voice gradually disappeared. The surroundings were silent. There wasn't a trace of wind. Ji Qingyuan carried Lin Qianqian's body and ran towards the hospital. Ji Jinyan said indifferently, the family doctor is inside. Let's go inside. Ji Qingyuan carried Lin Qianqian into the hall with tears in his eyes. Ji Jinyan didn't comfort Ji Qingyuan. Instead, he said to the old Taoist priest, thank you for this. The old Taoist priest stroked his beard and said, after all, you owe this female ghost a marriage. But she has done many evil things. This is retribution. The people hiding over there can come out now. The old Taoist priest looked in the direction where Ning Shu and Su Manyu were hiding. Ning Shu was still happy that the mission had been completed. She hadn't died and the female ghost had been destroyed. Su Manyu grabbed Ning Shu's arm and said, "Zhuang Yutong, help me. My legs are numb." "What a good-for-nothing." Ning Shu dragged Su Manyu over. "Uncle Ji, it's me," Su Manyu said to Ji Jinyan. Ji Jinyan glanced at Su Manyu. "Su Manyu." Ji Jinyan casually glanced at Ning Shu. Then, he quickly glanced at Ning Shu. Ning Shu took a step forward, but immediately stopped. After being glanced at by Ji Jinyan, Ning Shu felt a chill run down his spine. He felt as if his blood had frozen. After traversing through several worlds, this was the first time he had met such a cold person. He ignored everything. Even the miracle doctor wasn't so cold. The miracle doctor had a heart condition and couldn't be too emotional. But Ji Jinyan didn't seem to have any emotions. There was only coldness, coldness, coldness. "This is..." Ji Jinyan looked at Ning Shu and asked Su Manyu. Su Manyu said, "This is my classmate. She's a friend from the same dormitory. Her name is Zhuang Yutong." Zhuang Yutong. Ji Jinyan chewed on the name. Every word came out of his mouth. For some reason, Ning Shu's back was covered in sweat. Ji Jinyan looked away from Ning Shu and said calmly, "It's late. Go inside and drink some water." "Okay. My legs are so weak that I can't walk anymore." Su Manyu agreed readily. Ning Shu wanted to refuse, but Su Manyu had already said it. He couldn't refuse. Su Manyu wanted to go in and see Lin Qian's miserable state. Plus, the female ghost had been eliminated. Su Manyu felt that the world was beautiful. Ning Shu followed the group into the villa's living room. The living room was huge and luxurious. Ning Shu lowered her head and sat on the sofa, listening to Su Manyu and Ji Jinyan talk about the ghost in the dormitory. But Ning Shu felt that Ji Jinyan's gaze was constantly on her. It made Ning Shu feel uneasy. She didn't know this Ji Jinyan. Furthermore, the original owner came from the mountains. She didn't know a rich guy like Ji Jinyan. Chapter 223. Ji Jinyan pushed an exquisite porcelain teacup in front of Ning Shu and said coldly, "Miss Zhuang, please have some tea." Ning Shu felt Ji Jinyan's body lean towards her, giving her a sense of pressure. Ning Shu lowered her head and said, "Thank you." The Taoist priest sitting at the side said, "Since you were both haunted by the female ghost, why are the two of you fine? Also, the yin qi isn't very serious." Ning Shu didn't want to expose the existence of her soul pearl, so she didn't say anything. Su Manyu said, "Yutong went home and found a witch to prescribe some medicine to remove the yin qi. We drink it often, so the yin qi hasn't entered our bodies." The old Taoist priest touched his beard. "So that's how it is. You should have something on you to protect yourself. Otherwise, you wouldn't be so relaxed." The old Taoist priest looked at Ning Shu. Ning Shu said, "Granny gave me an amulet." The old Taoist priest touched his beard and didn't say anything. Ji Jinyan said to Ning Shu, "Then, Miss Zhuang, do you still have the medicine? I hope to give some to the little girl upstairs. That girl is the girl Ji Qingyuan likes." Su Manyu pouted. Ning Shu nodded. "Sure." The corners of Ji Jinyan's mouth curled up slightly. Previously, the light outside was not very bright, but looking at Ji Jinyan now, he only felt that his face was exquisite, cold, and proud. Although he was Ji Qingyuan's father, he looked like he was only in his 30s and had a strong aura. This was an extremely handsome man. No wonder the female ghost loved him so much. Now that he smiled, Ning Shu felt that his smile could topple a country. "Then, Miss Zhuang, please bring the medicine over tomorrow." Ji Jinyan looked at Ning Shu, who had her head lowered. Ning Shu nodded and said, sorry for disturbing you for so long. Manyu and I will leave first. No rush. It's already late. You can leave tomorrow, Ji Jinyan said. Ning Shu was speechless. I'm not familiar with you at all. Since you're Su Girl's friend, you don't have to be polite. It's not safe for two girls to walk at night. Ji Jinyan picked up the exquisite teacup on the marble coffee table and took a sip. There's no need. Ning Shu held Su Manyu's hand and walked away. He could feel the gaze following him like a shadow. What's going on? After leaving the villa, Ning Shu let out a sigh of relief. Su Manyu, who was beside him, was very happy. We finally got rid of the female ghost. Oh my, we can finally live a peaceful life. Ning Shu also smiled, and his heart relaxed. Oh my, I can finally leave this world. When they returned to the dormitory, the sky was still dark. Ning Shu and Su Manyu went back to sleep. When Ning Shu woke up, he realized that his soul pearl was gone. Ning Shu looked around for a while, but he couldn't find his things. Ning Shu almost turned the entire dormitory upside down. Did he drop it on the road or did the old Taoist take it away? Fuck, where's my pearl? I'm going blind from crying. Zhuang Yutong, what are you looking for? Su Manyu saw Ning Shu's bitter and hateful expression and felt distressed. Nothing, one of my shoes is missing. Ning Shu's voice was so distressed that the tone of his voice changed. Shame, it's just a pair of shoes. I'll give you a pair. It's enough for you to buy a pair. Su Manyu waved her hand and said disdainfully. Ding, quest completed. Leaving the character world. 2333's voice suddenly sounded. Zhuang Yutong's voice went limp, and Ning Shu's soul was roaring. My pearl, my soul pearl. Back in the system space, Ning Shu was still howling. The whole system space was filled with Ning Shu's roars. Oh right, I'll keep this pearl. You're now a soul, so you can't get close to the soul pearl. Your soul will be sucked away by the soul pearl. Why didn't you say so earlier? I thought I lost it. My heart was bleeding. Ning Shu said unhappily. 2333 retorted, didn't I say that when you return to the system space, I'll take away the soul pearl? Why didn't you tell me when you took it away? Ning Shu's tone was very bad. 2333 was really an idiot. He wasn't reliable at all. Why was he so different from the system mainframe? 2333 system stiffly changed the topic, let's see how many points I earned this time. Ning Shu's status panel appeared in front of him. Number, 23333 name, Ning Shu age, 27 experience, 50000300000 soul, 200 life, 50 wisdom, 85 charm, 3 luck, 34 spirit, 120 martial strength, 10 aptitude, 26 merit, 23 skills, 5th ring spear technique, trash fighting technique, trash entry to peerless martial arts honorary title, goddess of war mission completion progress, 100. Obtained 10 attribute points. The mission this time gave him 30,000 points. The points weren't very high. He obtained 10 attribute points and 3 merit points. Ning Shu didn't know what the use of merit points was. Ning Shu allocated the attribute points to wisdom, luck, and martial strength. His status panel changed. Number, 23333 name, Ning Shu age, 27 experience, 50000300000 soul, 200 life, 50 wisdom, 85 charm, 3 luck, 343 spirit, 120 martial strength, 107 aptitude, 26 merit, 23 skills, 5th ring spear technique, trash fighting technique, trash entry to peerless martial arts honorary title. Goddess of War. Ning Shu realized that martial strength was really important. Just like this mission, if it wasn't for his agile body and reaction speed, he would have died in the hands of the female ghost. He wouldn't have been able to obtain a treasure like the Soul Pearl. Ning Shu, Add some attribute points to your charm, 23333 said. You keep adding attribute points to your martial strength. Do you really want to become a freakishly strong woman? Ning Shu didn't care at all. Isn't it good to have a high martial strength? I think it's pretty good. It's even better if you have charm. With charm, it'll make things a lot easier. With charm, people will have a good impression of you. It's also beneficial for the mission. 23,333 advised. Ning Shu said faintly, it's better to rely on myself than on others. I'm not going to fall in love. Why would I need such a high charm? Ning Shu knew very well that he wouldn't be able to stay in the mission world for long. Once she left, the original owner would return to his body and start a new life. Ning Shu suddenly asked 23333, I've been traveling from one world to another. I've been fighting for all kinds of people. I've been living like this for a long time. It's a bit tiring. 23333 was silent for a moment. Then he said, rest well. Your soul is a bit tired. What you've done is very meaningful. Not only have you fought for those who desire to change their fate, but you've also stabilized the realm. You can live forever. Although this kind of longevity is a bit bitter, although your time in the mission world is short, you will never disappear unless you fail the mission and are killed. Maybe one day you'll be strong enough. Strong enough to transcend everything. Then you'll be free. 23333 comforted Ning Shu. You're the same as those who want to fight for survival. You're all fighting for your life to change your fate. Ning Shu let out a long sigh. It was as if he wanted to exhale the turbid air in his heart. Chapter 224. 2333 was afraid that Ning Shu's soul would crumble. Players had completed too many quests and their minds couldn't take it anymore. Naturally, they would vanish into thin air. Therefore, the quest takers not only had to complete the quest, but they also had to adjust their mentality. Some quest takers became bloodthirsty, and some lost their minds. They used their abilities to wreak havoc in the quest world and caused the world to collapse. Ning Shu felt that she was being unreasonable. She was supposed to die, and now she was given this opportunity. As long as she stayed true to her heart, there was nothing she could not do. Ning Shu sat cross-legged on the ground and began to absorb the materials in the dimension to replenish her soul. Just like 2333 said, she was immortal to a certain extent. Although she existed as a soul, she had failed her mission as a human. Even if Ning Shu died now, Ning Shu had no regrets. Ning Shu, are you okay? 2333 asked Ning Shu. Ning Shu opened her eyes and heard 2333's words. She said, I'm fine. I'm fine. Phew, that's good. I thought I was going to be thrown back into the recycle bin. You scared me. 2333 said happily, thank goodness you're fine. Ning Shu closed her eyes and ignored 2333. She tried to absorb the materials in the system. Ning Shu wanted to strengthen her soul. After some time, Ning Shu opened her eyes. She felt relaxed. She said to 2333, let's start the quest. Okay. After 2333 said that, Ning Shu felt dizzy. The dizziness did not last long. Ning Shu's soul was now so strong that she could clearly feel her soul fusing with her body. After she got used to it, Ning Shu heard a child crying beside her ear. The child was crying loudly, calling for his mother. There were people beside him trying to console the child, but the child was still crying very sadly. Ning Shu opened his heavy eyelids. He rolled his eyes and saw a fair and tender child crying beside the bed. Her Highness the Empress is awake, Your Highness. The palace maid serving her immediately said happily. Imperial Mother, Imperial Mother. Little Munchkin grabbed onto Ning Shu's hand and looked at Ning Shu with teary eyes, melting his heart. Ning Shu comforted her, Mother is fine. Don't cry. Ning Shu wanted to get up, but his body was very heavy. Furthermore, he felt like he couldn't breathe properly. His heart ached faintly. Ning Shu had learned medical skills from the godly doctor for a period of time. To put it bluntly, he was angry at himself. Help me up, Palace maid Ning Shu said weakly. Imperial Mother, I will help you. Little Munchkin was originally a child, about 4 or 5 years old. There were still traces of tears on his face. As he held on to Ning Shu's arm, his face was red. Ning Shu felt a warm and soft feeling in his heart. It should be a reflection of this body. Ning Shu was not used to it. She had become the mother of a child. The palace maid came over and helped Ning Shu up. Ning Shu leaned back against the cushion and looked at little Munchkin. He tried his best to speak to him in a gentle tone. Mother is fine. Don't worry. Imperial Mother, I am so scared. I am so scared that Imperial Mother will leave me. I will not be naughty in the future. I will study seriously and make Imperial Father happy. Little Munchkin grabbed onto Ning Shu's hand tightly. Ning Shu said to little Munchkin, Mother will be fine. Mother will never leave you. Ning Shu tried her best to coax the child. She felt dizzy, her heart was palpitating, and her breathing was short. This child's body was too weak. Ning Shu felt tired just by saying a few words. Go and wash your face. Ning Shu asked the palace maid to take the child away. Little Munchkin looked at Ning Shu reluctantly, but still obediently went down with the wet nurse. Once the child left, Ning Shu wiped the cold sweat off his forehead. Just a slight movement and his entire body was covered in sweat. Your Highness, it's time to drink your medicine. The palace maid brought the medicine over. Ning Shu took the bowl of medicine and sniffed it. It was all nourishing medicine. It was not poisonous, but it was useless for this body. The original owner of this body was overthinking. Take it away. I want to rest, Ning Shu said lightly. The palace maid hesitated and looked at Ning Shu. She lowered her head and said, The imperial physician said that your highness has to take the medicine on time. I know. Leave. Ning Shu was very impatient. The palace maid immediately took the bowl of medicine and left. Ning Shu lay down and prepared to accept the plot. The original owner of this body was the Empress of the Yan Kingdom. Her name was Xiao Xiao. Her grandfather was the Grand Marshal. During the fight for the throne, the original owner of this body was the most sought-after concubine among the princes. However, Xiao Xiao chose the current emperor, the fourth prince Huaqing. The fourth prince had the support of the Grand Marshal. In addition, the fourth prince was a capable man. He successfully ascended the throne and the original owner of this body became the empress. Huaqing was very deep and cold. He did not care about women and had no interest in the women in the harem. The original owner of this body married Huaqing for 5 years before she gave birth to a baby. It was the little boy just now, Huaqing. Xiao Xiao worked hard to take care of the harem. Otherwise, Huaqing would worry. Every month, Huaqing would come to her palace on the 15th. Sometimes, he would roll with Xiao Xiao. After the original owner of this body gave birth to Huaqing, she always wanted to have children. However, she could not conceive. She gave up and put all her hopes on Huaqing. Huaqing was now a child, but the original owner of this body forced him to study. Huaqing also raised Huaqing as an heir. Xiao Xiao was a woman, and she was the empress's woman. She gradually felt that Huaqing did not love her. He married her to get the support of her grandfather. However, Huaqing was tall and handsome. Moreover, he was an emperor. Xiao Xiao put her heart on Huaqing and tried her best to do what a wife should do. She thought that she would live like this until she grew old and be buried in the same grave as Huaqing. However, fate took a turn. This matter began when Huaqing brought back a golden fox from the hunting grounds. This golden fox was very smart and very human. Huaqing doted on this golden fox very much. No matter what he did, he would bring this fox with him. When eating, the fox would squat on the table and eat drumsticks. When sleeping, they would sleep together. Even when bathing, they would be together. Other than going to court, Huaqing and this fox were inseparable. Huaqing came to the harem less and less. He did not even go to the empress's palace on the 15th of every month. He did not summon the harem concubines to sleep with him for a few months. It was simply too abnormal. As a man, Huaqing suddenly had no needs. This caused all the women in the harem to die of thirst. They clearly had a man, but they were like widows. Under the cries of the harem women, the original owner of this body decided to ask Huaqing what was wrong. Chapter 225. Xiao Xiao suspected that Huaqing was hiding a woman. Otherwise, he wouldn't summon the harem women to his bed for half a year. However, Huaqing was the emperor. Even if he had a woman, she, as the mistress of the harem, should know. Why hide a woman? Xiao Xiao went to ask Huaqing why he hadn't been to the harem for so long. Huaqing impatiently said that he had matters to attend to in the previous court and had no time to go to the harem. He brought up the matters of the previous court. As a harem woman, Xiao Xiao naturally couldn't interfere in court affairs. She also couldn't ask what he was busy with. Xiao Xiao saw Huaqing holding the little fox in his arms. His gaze was especially doting. Xiao Xiao didn't care at all. In the end, it was just an animal. However, she didn't expect Huaqing to dote on this fox to an unprecedented extent. It turned the harem upside down. Today, it broke the imperial concubines' vases. Tomorrow, it would tear Jiayu's clothes. It was so gluttonous that it ate everything. It often sneaked into the imperial kitchen to steal food. In short, it was especially naughty. This caused the harem concubines to be very resentful. They ran to Xiao Xiao to complain. Xiao Xiao went to find Huaqing to discipline this fox. The harem was really out of control. Huaqing just dotingly tapped the little fox's forehead. He was very dissatisfied with Xiao Xiao making a fuss over nothing. She was bickering with an animal. Xiao Xiao was so angry that she almost fainted. After that, she was teased by the little fox. Xiao Xiao wanted to beat this animal to death. However, Xiao Xiao didn't dare. Even if this animal set the palace on fire, Huaqing wouldn't say anything. He would unconditionally dote on this fox. This was a treatment that even humans couldn't enjoy. This animal actually enjoyed it. The harem women hated this fox so much that their teeth itched. Even Xiao Xiao was jealous. She had been married to Huaqing for so long, but Huaqing had always been cold to her. She had never received such gentleness and doting from him. The concubines cried and complained in front of Xiao Xiao every day, adding fuel to the fire. This made Xiao Xiao hate this fox even more. She even found people to kill the fox, but they all failed. When Huaqing found out, he was so angry that he wanted to depose the empress. If Xiao Xiao's Grand Marshal grandfather didn't stand up to stop him, Xiao Xiao would have stayed in the cold palace. From then on, Xiao Xiao lost her dignity and status as an empress. She was now an empress who was despised by the emperor. Xiao Xiao's heart was filled with hatred and pain. It was simply a vicious cycle. Moreover, this fox often came to tease her, jumping on her body and messing up her hair and clothes. Then, very humanely, it would cover its mouth with its paw and run away. The concubines also saw clearly that if they wanted to gain the emperor's favor, they had to please this fox. No matter what the fox did, the concubines gritted their teeth and endured it. Xiao Xiao was very unwilling to give up and thought of ways to kill this beast. She even found her grandfather and asked him to kill the fox. However, she didn't expect that the marshal's mansion would be found to have betrayed the country. Hua Qing directly took away the military power and executed the whole family. When Xiao Xiao learned of this, she vomited a mouthful of blood. She felt that she had caused the death of her entire family. Xiao Xiao didn't believe that her grandfather would betray the country. He was already so old, there was no need for that. It was just that Hua Qing wanted to take back the military power in her grandfather's hands. Once the cunning rabbit was killed, the hound was thrown away. Xiao Xiao really regretted marrying Hua Qing and causing the death of her entire family. In addition, her son, Hua Chenwang, ran around crazily with the fox every day. His heart was wild. Xiao Xiao couldn't teach him anymore. He was a good-for-nothing and was always reprimanded by Hua Qing. Xiao Xiao's heart was filled with despair. She cried tears of blood and hung herself. Ning Shu was speechless. She was courting death. Actually, what Xiao Xiao didn't know was that this fox was actually a human inside. She was just a girl who had transmigrated from the modern world into a fox's body. After transmigrating into a beast, she really thought of herself as a beast. Her wild nature was hard to tame. After Xiao Xiao's death, this little fox found a pearl in Xiao Xiao's palace. Legend had it that it was a 1,000-year-old mermaid pearl. It was the original owner's dowry. The little fox accidentally swallowed it and turned the little fox into a peerless beauty. From then on, there was no color in the palace. Hua Qing only liked this little fox. Because the original owner was unwilling, her soul wandered around the palace. When she saw that slut adopt her child, she said that she played well with him when she was still a fox. Hua Qingwang didn't want to study, so she didn't let him study. She said that it wasn't a big deal to study later. She wanted to give the child a beautiful childhood. Hua Qingwang liked this empress very much. Not long after, he forgot about his mother. That was until the slut gave birth to a child of her own. That child was very smart and good at studying. He had a photographic memory, which made Hua Qingwang seem even more vulgar. He became the slut's son's follower. He watched as the slut's son became the emperor while Hua Qing and the fox spirit went sightseeing. The original owner's wishes were, 1. Don't let the marshal's family be executed. 2. Don't let this immoral slut die a horrible death. 3. Hua Qingwang was the son of the first wife. Don't let that be the ending. When Ning Shu saw the original owner's wishes, he felt that the first wish wasn't easy to fulfill. He felt that the marshal's family's decline was inevitable. Hua Qing was the emperor and the original owner's grandfather held military power. If the other party was hot-headed and rebelled, the throne under his but would be unstable. It would be like a fishbone stuck in the throat. Hua Qing wanted to deal with the marshal's family from the moment he ascended the throne. Handing over military power was tantamount to having one's hands and feet tied. Hua Qing could do whatever he wanted. With military power in hand, at least Hua Qing would be a little wary. The original owner fainted because he wanted Hua Qingwang to study. Hua Qingwang was still young and didn't like to study. He said that he hated Imperial Mother and Imperial Mother only wanted him to study. He wanted to play with the little fox. The original owner was so angry that his vision turned black and he fainted. Ning Shu felt a headache coming on. He opened his eyes and rubbed his forehead. The most important thing now was to take care of his body. Sitting on the bed, Ning Shu began to cultivate his peerless martial arts. After a while, Ning Shu's whole body was covered in sweat. He had no choice but to stop and let the palace maid bring hot water to wash up. After washing up, Ning Shu's body felt a little better. He also ate a little more for lunch, which made his personal palace maid very happy. Ning Shu sorted out the plot in his head as he ate. The little fox had just arrived in the palace not long ago. Ning Shu decided to destroy the shark pearl so that it wouldn't be able to transform into a human. Let's see how you guys are going to do it. Ning Shu put down the bowl and asked his personal palace maid, Qing Zhu, to find the shark pearl in the dowry. Qing Zhu was stunned for a moment before she found the shark pearl. Ning Shu looked at the shark pearl. Although it was called a shark pearl, it was just a big and round pearl. Perhaps it had some mysterious power that could allow the little fox to transform into a human. He sneered and picked up a stool and smashed it on the pearl. The pearl didn't shatter. Ning Shu smashed it a few more times before the pearl finally shattered. Ning Shu didn't stop and continued smashing the pearl until it turned into powder. Ning Shu blew at the powder, causing it to fly up and fall to the ground. Qing Zhu, oh. Chapter 226. Zhuang Yutong, you're awake. I thought you were possessed by a ghost. You scared me to death. Zhuang Yutong opened her eyes and saw Su Manyu complaining. Although she was complaining, Su Manyu's eyes were filled with worry. Are you alright? You fainted all of a sudden. Su Manyu looked at Zhuang Yutong. What's wrong with you? Zhuang Yutong felt a little dizzy. She said to Su Manyu, I'm fine. Su Manyu looked at Zhuang Yutong with an evil expression as she said, should we go check on Lin Qian? Didn't you promise Uncle Ji to deliver her medicine? You can send the medicine over. I won't go. I'm not feeling well, Zhuang Yutong said. Su Manyu saw that Lin Qian did not look well. She nodded and left with the medicine bag. Before she left, Ning Shu said, when I come back, I'll tell you about Lin Qian's terrible condition. Zhuang Yutong felt like she was in a dream, but she remembered it clearly in her mind. It didn't feel like a dream. After Su Manyu left, Zhuang Yutong closed her eyes and slept for a while. Suddenly, there was a knock on the door. Zhuang Yutong climbed down from the bed and opened the door while asking, who is it? Zhuang Yutong opened the door and saw a rather unexpected person at the door. Zhuang Yutong stuttered, why are you here? It was Ji Qingyuan's father, Ji Jinyan. Ji Jinyan walked into the dormitory, looked into Zhuang Yutong's eyes and said, I'll treat you to a meal. Why? Zhuang Yutong asked in a daze. She was not familiar with this man at all. They had only met once, but he actually came to her dormitory and said that he wanted to treat her to a meal. Ha ha ha. Take it as my thanks for your medicine. I heard from Su girl that you were in the dormitory. I asked you to deliver the medicine personally. Why didn't you go? Ji Jinyan's tone was very domineering. Zhuang Yutong, that was this person sick in the head? Change your clothes. I'll treat you to a meal. Ji Jinyan glanced at Zhuang Yutong. This person was sick. Ji Jinyan raised his wrist, looked at his watch, and said, Miss Zhuang, please hurry up. My time is very precious. Zhuang Yutong, wiping his tears, what to do if I meet a lunatic? Which, save me. Don't you have nice clothes to change into? In return for the medicinal powder, I can give you some. Ji Jinyan saw Zhuang Yutong's confused expression and seemed to be very considerate. With a stiff face, Zhuang Yutong said, please leave. I'm going to change. Ji Jinyan grunted and turned to leave. Zhuang Yutong wanted to bang her head against the metal bed. What kind of person was this? When Zhuang Yutong changed her clothes and went out, Ji Jinyan frowned but didn't say anything. The two of them went downstairs. Zhuang Yutong's eyelids twitched when she saw the luxury car parked in front of the dormitory. Ji Jinyan opened the car door for Zhuang Yutong. Zhuang Yutong sat in the car and felt out of place with Gij. Everything in the car was luxurious and fragrant. She looked at the clothes she was wearing. Zhuang Yutong decided that she would never associate with such people again. She didn't want to feel inferior and torment herself. Ji Jinyan sat in the car and saw Zhuang Yutong's eyes flickering. He smiled. You will have this life in the future. Zhuang Yutong didn't comment. Instead, she was more concerned about why this man was looking for her. They were eating at a Western restaurant. Zhuang Yutong sat opposite Ji Jinyan and said lightly, "Sorry, I don't know Western dining etiquette." Ji Jinyan said, "I can teach you." "No need, Mr. Ji. I want to know why you're looking for me." Zhuang Yutong asked. "You're making me lose my appetite." Ji Jinyan took a sip of red wine and looked at Zhuang Yutong in a daze. "Your eyes are exactly the same as my wife's. When I first saw you, I thought he was standing in front of me." Zhuang Yutong, "Oh." Ji Jinyan raised his eyebrows. Her reaction was so calm. "Aren't you curious about my wife?" Ji Jinyan asked. Zhuang Yutong. "Why should I be curious? We don't know each other." "Mr. Ji, are you looking into my eyes to comfort yourself because my eyes are similar to your wife's? Or do you want to keep me as your wife's substitute?" "Su Manyu said you love your wife very much, but your current actions make me doubt your loyalty to your wife." Zhuang Yutong stood up. "Sorry, I'll leave first. I don't know how to eat Western food. Goodbye, Mr. Ji." Zhuang Yutong only wanted to study hard so that she could have a job after graduation to reduce the burden on her family. Ji Jinyan and she were from different worlds. Life was already so difficult, why should she play with the rich? Ji Jinyan watched Zhuang Yutong leave the restaurant and raised his eyebrows. Loyalty to his wife. When Zhuang Yutong returned to the dormitory, Su Manyu had already returned. Su Manyu immediately said excitedly, "Lin Qianqian's leg is going to be amputated. Her leg is seriously injured and the infection is very serious. We can only amputate it. I don't know if Ji Qingyuan will still like Lin Qianqian with a broken leg." Zhuang Yutong silently looked at Su Manyu's happy face and was speechless. Su Manyu's face fell. Zhuang Yutong asked, "What's wrong?" "I'm getting engaged," Su Manyu suddenly said. Zhuang Yutong, "Pfft, why so sudden?" Zhuang Yutong asked. "You haven't even graduated yet. You don't understand the lifestyle of people in our class. We can still get married before we graduate. Marriage doesn't affect our lives. We can still have fun as usual." Su Manyu sighed. Zhuang Yutong asked again, "Who are you getting engaged to?" "Ji Qingyuan." Su Manyu rolled her eyes. Zhuang Yutong, "Pfft, the rich's circle is so messy." Zhuang Yutong sighed. "Damn, why is it so frustrating to get engaged to Ji Qingyuan? Damn, I have to get involved with Lin Qianqian again. It's so annoying just looking at her." It was obvious that Su Manyu didn't want to get engaged to Ji Qingyuan. People who want to live with each other for the rest of their lives should find someone they like, Zhuang Yutong said. Zhuang Yutong said with disdain, "You're indeed a country bumpkin who doesn't know anything. We're combining interests. It has nothing to do with feelings. Don't you like Ji Qingyuan?" Zhuang Yutong looked at her from the corner of her eyes. "Damn, let's not talk about this dark history. I'd rather like a country bumpkin like you than Ji Qingyuan," Su Manyu said. Zhuang Yutong's mouth twitched. "I don't need you to like a country bumpkin like me. You should go and like Ji Qingyuan." "When did I say I liked you? I was just making an example. It means that Ji Qingyuan is not worth mentioning in my heart," Su Manyu quickly said. Zhuang Yutong, "Damn, what a vicious word. Look at how scared you are. Why would I like a country bumpkin?" Su Manyu said with disdain. Her expression didn't look too good. She couldn't help but push Zhuang Yutong. "I won't like you." "Zhuang Yutong, what's wrong with you?" Chapter 227. "My lady, what are you doing?" Qing Zhu saw Ning Shu smash the shark pearl and quickly said, "My lady, this is the dowry that the marshal gave you." There is only one in the world. There was only one in the world, so it was good. Rather than giving it to the little fox, it was better to smash it herself. Ning Shu clapped her hands and said, "I am not in a good mood, so I smashed a pearl for fun." "My lady." Qing Zhu looked at Ning Shu and did not know what to say. Clean up the things on the ground. I am going to take a nap. Ning Shu returned to her bedroom and prepared to cultivate her peerless martial arts. She needed to take care of her body first. She meditated for half a day. Ning Shu felt hungry and opened her eyes. It was already dark. Qing Zhu was anxiously pacing around outside. When she saw Ning Shu come out, she let out a sigh of relief and asked, "My lady, do you want to eat dinner now?" "Yes." Ning Shu sat on a chair as a palace maid served the dishes. Beside her, Qing Zhu said, "Your Highness, the little prince came over in the afternoon. I told him that your Highness was resting, so the little prince left." Ning Shu made a sound of acknowledgement and ate the food. It tasted really good. Qing Zhu carefully looked at Ning Shu and advised, "Your Highness, the little prince is still young, so he's naturally a bit playful. Perhaps it's because studying is really too hard." Ning Shu put down her chopsticks. Qing Zhu's expression changed. She quickly bowed and said, "I have overstepped my boundaries. I deserve to die." Ning Shu looked at this girl. She grew up with the original owner of the body. After the original owner died, she went into hiding. She wanted to take revenge for the original owner. She wanted to poison the little fox, but her plan was seen through and she was poisoned by Hu Qing. Qing Zhu was born in the marshal's residence. The marshal's residence was executed and her family was killed. In order to take revenge for her master and family, she took the risk. Of course, the result was tragic. "Qing Zhu, get up." Ning Shu lightly said, "Being born in the royal family, how can there be a beautiful childhood? They are provided for by the common people of the world. They wear luxurious clothes and have servants to serve them. They are not like ordinary children who don't have enough to eat or warm clothes. Ordinary children even have to run around for their family's livelihood when they are very young. What kind of good childhood is there to speak of? You have to bear the responsibility of your position." Ning Shu said indifferently. In the end, Hu Chenwang ended up in such a pitiful state. Why would he have to pay for his own laziness and willfulness? Of course, it was also because of the self-righteous indulgence of the little fox. If one didn't have the life of a main character, then one should work hard. Ning Shu did not know how to educate the child. She had never given birth to a child before, so she did not know how to educate a child. For the time being, she did not want to see the little munchkin. Qing Zhu comforted Ning Shu, "The little prince will definitely understand her ladyship's painstaking efforts." Children all had rebellious tendencies. The more pressure they were under, the more they would react. He could only take it slow. For the next few days, Ning Shu stayed in her bedroom and did not go out. Even when the concubines came to pay their respects, Qing Zhu rejected them, saying that the empress was not feeling well. These concubines could only reluctantly return. Even when the news spread in the palace that the empress was sick, Hu Qing did not step into the harem to ask about the empress's health. He did not even pretend to comfort her. Ning Shu did not care very much. She even felt very fortunate. It seemed that Hu Qing was now going to keep his chastity. Ning Shu did not want to roll with Hu Qing at all. She just did not know how Hu Qing solved his physiological needs. Could it be that he masturbated himself? Ning Shu cultivated day and night. Finally, this body was out of breath after walking a few steps. It seemed that the original owner was very angry. Thinking that it had been such a long time, she should communicate with the little munchkin, Hu Chenwang. Ning Shu asked Qing Zhu to call Hu Chenwang over. When Hu Chenwang looked over, his face was red and covered in sweat. Ning Shu narrowed her eyes. She saw that there was a strand of golden fur on Hu Chenwang's shoulder. It seemed that this little guy was playing with the little fox again. Hu Chenwang properly bowed to Ning Shu. Akhen greets Muhu. Muhu is in good health. Ning Shu looked at Hu Chenwang like this. Hua Qingwang's red face flashed with a trace of uneasiness and uneasiness. Ning Shu gently pulled Hua Qingwang over and reached out to brush off the golden fox fur on his shoulder. Muhu. Hua Qingwang saw Ning Shu like this and his expression became even more uneasy. He lowered his head and did not dare to speak. Qingwang, did you play with the little fox today? Ning Shu asked gently. Tell Muhu, where did you go? Muhu, Ken did not. Hua Qingwang lowered his head and lied. Ning Shu said, Muhu does not mean to blame you. In the future, you can play with the little fox. Really? Muhu? Hua Qingwang suddenly raised his head and looked at Ning Shu with shining eyes. Ning Shu nodded. You can. Muhu, you are so good. Hua Qingwang squeezed into Ning Shu's arms and twisted his body to act spoiled with Ning Shu. Ning Shu was not used to this and pulled Hua Qingwang out of her arms. She said unhappily, you are already a man, yet you are still acting spoiled with Muhu. If you want to play with the little fox, Muhu has a condition. As long as you complete it, you can play with the little fox however you want, Ning Shu said seriously. Hua Qingwang immediately patted his small chest and said, Muhu, Ken will definitely do well. Muhu doesn't have many requirements. Practice 20 characters every day and memorize a poem. As long as you complete it, you can go play. The sooner you complete it, the longer you can play with the little fox. Ning Shu gently coaxed him. Rather than make him study day and night, it was better to set a number. At least he would have a goal to strive for. Yes, Muhu. I will definitely complete it. Hua Qingwang promised, his face shining. Ning Shu nodded. As long as you can complete it, that is good. But you must complete it before you can play, understand? Qingwang, you really like the little fox. Yes, the little fox is very cute and very smart. I have never seen such a smart animal. Hua Qingwang nodded repeatedly. He looked very cute. Ning Shu played with her nails and said with a smile, is that so? I heard that your father also likes it. The little fox is so cute. Who wouldn't like it? Hua Qingwang said matter-of-factly. Ning Shu thought, I don't like the one in front of you. Ning Shu patted Hua Qingwang's shoulder. Remember the promise you made to Muhu. You are a man, and a gentleman's word is as good as a whip. I will remember it, Hua Qingwang said loudly. Hua Qingwang said loudly with the vigor of a child. He looked very cute, just like a little adult. Qing Zhu, who was next to Ning Shu, laughed. The palace maids in the palace all covered their mouths and snickered. Ning Shu laughed. Go play. Don't forget the 20 characters and the poem. Bring them to Muhu tonight for inspection. When Hua Qingwang left, his footsteps were like the wind. Qing Zhu, Ben Gong hasn't been able to sleep well at night recently. I keep feeling like there's something rustling around. It should be a rat. Get someone to put some rats in a hidden corner. Ning Shu said faintly. Qing Zhu agreed and went to do it. Chapter 228. At night, Hua Qingwang obediently brought his homework over. It was the 20 characters that Hua Qingwang had written. Ning Shu tested Hua Qingwang to see if he could recognize these characters. Hua Qingwang then recited a poem. He shook his little head like an old scholar reciting the book. After he finished reciting, he looked at Ning Shu. Ning Shu nodded and praised him, very good, Qingwang is very good. Hua Qingwang's face was red. He puffed out his chest and said, Son knows even more. To be honest, Ning Shu was really embarrassed. His handwriting wasn't as good as a 5-year-old child's. Ning Shu felt that he would definitely not use a pen in the future. When you play with the little fox, you have to be careful. Don't go to places that are too dangerous. Do you understand? Ning Shu reminded Hua Qingwang. Hua Qingwang nodded and said, Muhu, you are so good. Ning Shu patted Hu Qingwang's shoulder. He originally wanted to pat his little butt, but he felt like a strange auntie. He could only pat his shoulder. Go back and rest, Ning Shu said with a smile. He then reminded him, don't get scratched by the little fox. It is, after all, an animal. It is not good for the body to be scratched. When you wash at night, have the wet nurse wash with mugwort leaf water. Do you understand? Son understands. Hu Qingwang nodded. After Hu Qingwang left, Ning Shu let out a heavy breath. It was so difficult to communicate with a child. Nyang Nyang, today is the 15th. The emperor should come. Qing Zhu looked outside the hall, but it is already so late. Ning Shu yawned, wash and sleep. There is no need to wait. Qing Zhu looked at Ning Shu with comforting eyes and said, Nyang Nyang, it must be that the emperor is too busy. Too busy to sleep. Coming to the empress palace was basically just to sleep. It was only a few steps away. He just didn't want to come. Ning Shu had just laid down on the bed when he heard the sharp voice of a eunuch outside, the emperor has arrived. Ning Shu climbed out of bed and put on his clothes. Hu Qing walked in. Ning Shu bowed to Hu Qing, Chinchia pays respect to the emperor. Hu Qing was tall and had a belt around his waist, which made his waist look even more narrow. He gave off a very sexy feeling. The outline of his face was very deep and three-dimensional, and his nose was like a hanging gallbladder. The empress is going to bed already? Hu Qing asked, does the empress not remember that today is the 15th? Ning Shu could clearly feel that Hu Qing was angry. Hu Qing's face was expressionless as he frowned slightly. Ning Shu was speechless. If you don't want to come, then don't come. You look like you were forced to come, which made everyone's balls ache. Hu Qing was indeed forced to come. When he went to court today, old Xiao said that he hadn't visited the harem for a long time. To put it bluntly, he wanted him to dote on his granddaughter. Hu Qing dawdled until he arrived at the empress's palace. When he left the imperial study, the little fox hugged his leg and didn't let him go. She looked at him with tears in her eyes, which made Hu Qing very uncomfortable. He tried his best to persuade the little fox to not be so sad. Now that he saw that Ning Shu had fallen asleep first, Hu Qing was furious and even hated her. Hu Qing opened his arms and waited for Ning Shu to change his clothes for him. He said lightly, go to bed. Ning Shu nodded. Okay. Seeing that Hu Qing didn't want to roll with her, Ning Shu was relieved. Empress, change my clothes for me, Hu Qing said coldly. Ning Shu, 0, Ning Shu climbed out of bed again and took off Hu Qing's clothes. Then the two of them lay on the bed in silence. Hu Qing simply turned his back to Ning Shu. Ning Shu, what kind of virtue was this? If it was the original owner, her heart would have been broken by Hu Qing's cold violence. Ning Shu also turned over and was back to back with Hu Qing. Damn, it was really uncomfortable to have someone next to him. He was already tall and strong. He took up half of the bed and didn't let him sleep properly. Ning Shu closed his eyes and fell asleep in a daze. Suddenly, he was awakened by the shrill scream of an animal, which was full of pain. Hu Qing hurriedly got up and stepped on Ning Shu's leg without caring about the person sleeping next to him. Ning Shu immediately kicked Hu Qing away. Hu Qing accidentally fell to the ground, but he didn't care at all. With an anxious face, he shouted, where are you? The fox screamed. It was a bit like a high-octave dog bark, but also like a woman's scream. It was especially terrifying in the middle of the night and made people shudder. Hu Qing's face was very anxious. Ning Shu got down from the couch and asked Qing Zhu to light up the candle. Hu Qing directly snatched the candle. He clearly heard Hu crying pitifully not far away. In the end, Hu Qing found the little fox under the window of the room. One of the little fox's forelimbs was caught in a rat trap and was bleeding. Hua Qing's heart ached immensely. Call the imperial physician, call the imperial physician. Hua Qing's eyes were red as he roared at Ning Shu. Hua Qing was calm, but the original owner had never seen him so emotional. Call the imperial physician. Ning Shu said to Qing Zhu. Qing Zhu hurriedly went to call the imperial physician. She was frightened by Hua Qing's appearance. Hua Qing squatted down and wanted to remove the rat trap, but he was afraid of hurting the little fox. He was so anxious that he didn't know what to do. The little fox cried at Hua Qing with tears flowing down her face. She looked very pitiful. Ning Shu watched from the side. This fox was covered in gold and looked very beautiful. Her eyes were very lively and there was a cunning look in her eyes. But now, her eyes were dim and she kept crying at Hua Qing. It was hard to imagine that an animal's body could contain a human soul. Ning Shu also learned something new. Could it be that the target of her missions in the future might also be non-human? Hua Qing suddenly turned his head to look at Ning Shu and asked sharply, Empress, why do you have such a dangerous thing in your bedroom? Ning Shu said calmly, I haven't been sleeping well these days. There are always rats at night, so I asked the palace maids to make a rat trap. I didn't expect it to come. It never comes to my palace. Who knew that something like this would happen? This fox hadn't been in the palace for long. It hadn't become familiar with the ground and hadn't become as lawless as in the plot. I don't know why it came today. Ning Shu said very sincerely. Hua Qing was speechless for a moment. He couldn't say that it was because he was here and who relied on him. As the emperor, Hua Qing would never say such words. At least, he wouldn't say such words in front of Ning Shu, the empress. Hua Qing touched the little fox's head and comforted her, it's okay. The imperial physician will be here soon. Woo woo woo. The little fox lay on the ground. Her voice was very weak from the pain. She was cursing in her heart. How could she be so unlucky? How could she be caught by this thing? Ugh, it hurt. It was all because of Hua Qing, that bastard. If she didn't follow him, she wouldn't be injured. The more the little fox thought about it, the sadder she felt. She felt wronged and the pain in her wound made her cry. Hua Qing wanted to hug the little fox. Chapter 229. Ning Shu looked at Hua Qing's gentle appearance. It was clearly a person and a fox, but there was an indescribable ambiguity between them. Oh my God, love really could transcend race and gender. The imperial physician rushed over in a hurry. Before he could salute, Hua Qing said anxiously, quickly save my pet. Yes. The imperial physician didn't even have time to catch his breath before he rushed to save the little fox. Hua Qing watched from the side. When he saw the imperial physician touching the little fox's body, his face immediately darkened. He stared fiercely at the imperial physician's hand. He almost chopped off the imperial physician's hand. It was a strong sense of possessiveness. The little fox whimpered. The wound on its leg was very painful. Hua Qing said repeatedly, be gentle. Be careful. Yes, yes, Your Majesty. The imperial physician had to pay attention to his subordinates while being nagged by Hua Qing. Ning Shu didn't say anything. He drank water at the side. He poured a cup of water for Hua Qing and said, Your Majesty, have some tea. It will be fine. Hua Qing was already anxious, but this tactless empress still wanted him to drink water. Could he drink it now? Hua Qing directly pushed Ning Shu's hand away. The teacup fell to the ground and the porcelain pieces shattered. Ning Shu hurriedly apologized, Your Majesty, it's Qinqia's fault. Please don't be angry. There was still an imperial physician in the room. Hua Qing took a deep breath and said, It's fine. I don't blame you. Woo woo woo. The little fox whimpered in pain. It looked at Hua Qing with its watery eyes. Hua Qing and the little fox's eyes met. He immediately moved away from Ning Shu and comforted, "Don't be afraid, I'm here. You will be fine." Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and covered his mouth with a handkerchief. He almost laughed out loud. He felt that the little fox now regarded Huaqing as its possession. Huaqing kept calling for the imperial physician to be gentle. It took him a long time to rescue the little fox's forelimbs from the trap. Its fur was already soaked with blood, and it looked like it was seriously injured. It would probably need to recuperate for a period of time. The imperial physician placed the little fox on the bed and picked up the fur around the wound. Then, he sprinkled some medicinal powder on the wound and bandaged it up meticulously. "Your Majesty, the wound has been treated. Don't let it get wet during this period of time. This official will come to change the medicine every 2 days." The imperial physician wiped the sweat on his head and cupped his hands towards Huaqing as he spoke. Huaqing sat by the bed and nodded with a tense face. "You can leave." The imperial physicians left like a swarm of bees, leaving only Ning Shu, Huaqing, and the dying little fox lying on the bed in the room. "You're not allowed to put such dangerous things in the palace in the future. Look at what you've done to Huaqing," Ning Shu said coldly. Ning Shu's expression was indifferent as she bowed and said, "Qinxie will remember." Huaqing carefully picked up the little fox on the bed. Ning Shu said, "You can sleep by yourself tonight." Then, she left with the little fox. Ning Shu curled her lips and saw the bright red blood stains on the bed sheet. She said to the pale-faced Qing Zhu, "Remove this bed sheet and make the bed again. This consort wants to sleep." "Yes, Your Highness." Qing Zhu had the palace maids change the bed sheet. Ning Shu said, "Change the quilt cover as well." After changing the bed sheet, Ning Shu yawned and lay on the bed. Qing Zhu and Ning Shu comforted her, "Your Highness, don't be too sad." "Sad? This consort isn't sad. The one who's sad right now is someone else." Ning Shu sneered. Look at Huaqing's distressed expression. Originally, it was just in case, but she didn't think that the fox would actually fall for it. Relying on the fact that it was an animal, it could come and go as it pleased in the palace. It could go anywhere. The little fox especially liked to run to the concubines' palaces and secretly listen to gossip. Ning Shu didn't want her own palace to become a place where others could come and go as they pleased. It was likely that the little fox wouldn't come out to cause trouble for a long time. It also wouldn't be able to play with Huaqing Wang. "Qing Zhu, go to the Imperial Household Department tomorrow and see if there are any cute and big pets for Qing Wang." Ning Shu said this and closed her eyes to sleep. Oh my, it was better to sleep alone in a big bed. Compared to Ning Shu's comfort, Huaqing was like an iceberg. She held the little fox in her arms and said angrily, "Let's see if you'll run around again in the future. Didn't I promise you that nothing would happen between me and the Empress? Now you've hurt yourself like this." The little fox looked at Huaqing pitifully, but Huaqing's face was cold. In fact, his heart had already softened. He said coldly, "Let's see if you dare run to the Empress Palace again." "Woo!" the little fox whispered. It stuck out its pink tongue and licked Huaqing's palm. It used its little sharp teeth to bite Huaqing's finger. It seemed to be telling him not to be angry. After being bitten by the little fox, Huaqing's entire body felt like it had been electrocuted. His whole body was numb. His finger was bitten by the little fox, and there was a slight pain. It was an indescribable pleasure. Immediately, he felt his lower abdomen heat up. It was very exciting. This was a feeling that Huaqing had never experienced in more than 20 years. With just this bite, Huaqing suddenly felt the intoxicating love between a man and a woman. That kind of uncontrollable impulse and desire. Huaqing looked at the little fox in his arms with a burning gaze. Its eyes were very clear, and they were filled with innocence and confusion. Huaqing's lower abdomen had already raised its head. Enduring the burning heat in his body, Huaqing placed the little fox on the dragon bed and said in a hoarse voice, "Hurry up and sleep." The little fox narrowed its eyes and licked Huaqing's hand. Huaqing almost couldn't control himself. He gritted his teeth and said, "Hurry up and sleep." Only then did the little fox fall asleep contentedly. Huaqing was about to explode from holding it in. When the little fox finally fell asleep, Huaqing sneaked into Imperial concubine Xian's palace. Huaqing didn't want to see Ning Shu at all. He blamed him in his heart for causing to be injured. On the bed, Huaqing was all kinds of passionate and fierce. He tortured Imperial concubine Xian until she was half dead, but the woman on the bed was very satisfied. After he vented his desire, Huaqing's heart suddenly felt guilty. When he thought about how the little fox was injured while he was rolling around with another woman, Huaqing felt very uncomfortable. He quickly got on the bed and put on his clothes. Ignoring Imperial concubine Xian's urging to stay, he hurriedly left. When he returned to the bedroom, Huaqing looked at the little fox sleeping on the dragon bed. His heart suddenly softened. He reached out a finger and touched the tip of its pink nose. He even wanted to bend down and kiss it. No, was only his pet. How could he have such an impulse for an animal? It was too unbelievable. But in Huaqing's heart, he thought that the smart and cute wasn't a fox at all. Perhaps it was a fox immortal who had cultivated successfully. Huaqing's heart really hoped that could transform into a human. Chapter 230. Huaqing didn't care much about the matters between men and women. Otherwise, Huaqing would rarely go to the harem with so many beauties. But now, Huaqing had an incomparable and uncontrollable impulse. Huaqing's joy was mixed with a sense of shame, making Huaqing feel very conflicted. Ning Shu slept very well that night. When she woke up in the morning, she felt refreshed. Just as she left the palace, the little munchkin, Huaqing, who was holding something in his arms, bumped into Ning Shu's arms. He was practically twisting his body as he whined to Ning Shu. "Mother, is this puppy for me?" "Yes, this puppy is for you." Ning Shu sat down and looked at the puppy in Huaqing's arms. This puppy was only a month old, and its body was very furry. Ning Shu patted the stool next to her for Huaqing to sit next to her. Huaqing carefully held the puppy. Ning Shu looked at the male puppy and said to Huaqing, "The little fox was injured last night, so it can't play with you in the future. Let this puppy accompany you. From now on, besides studying, you have to take care of this puppy. There are a lot of dirty things on the puppy's body, so you have to bathe it often." "Is the little fox injured? Is it serious?" Huaqing asked anxiously. Ning Shu said indifferently, "It's not serious. It's just that its leg is injured, so it can't walk for the time being. Don't disturb its recovery. Your father won't let you see the little fox, so don't disturb it for the time being." "I will remember." Huaqing nodded. "I will listen to mother." "You're still a child. Eat with mother," Ning Shu said to Huaqing. Huaqing was quite cute, and his body had a milky fragrance. Huaqing sat next to Ning Shu. Ning Shu gave him some food, and Huaqing quickly said, "Thank you, mother." Ning Shu smiled. What a polite child. Huaqing picked up a steamed bun and placed it next to the puppy's mouth. The puppy only stuck out its tongue and licked it. Ning Shu said, "The puppy is too small to eat this. Is it troublesome to make some porridge for the puppy later? Is Qingwang regretting it now?" Huaqing was afraid that Ning Shu would change her mind, so he quickly said, "Mother, I will definitely take good care of the dog." After breakfast, Ning Shu took the medicinal powder and applied it on the puppy to kill the insects. Huaqing also helped and applied the powder on his hand. "Qingwang, it's a small life. You have to take good care of it. Since you've chosen it, you have to take responsibility for it. Do you understand? Ning Shu instructed Hu Qinhuang. I'll remember everything. I'll definitely take good care of him. Hu Qinhuang's face flushed red, and he seemed very surprised. He acted coquettishly in Ning Shu's arms. Mother, you're so nice. I'll definitely study hard and take good care of the puppy. Go. Ning Shu patted Hu Qinhuang's shoulder and instructed Hu Qinhuang's wet nurse to not let the little prince be scratched by the puppy. After Hu Qinhuang left, Qing Zhu bowed to Ning Shu and said, Nyang Nyang, the concubines of the various palaces have come to pay their respects. Let them in. It was time to see these women. Ning Shu stroked her wide sleeves. Ning Shu walked into the main hall from the side hall. As soon as she entered the main hall, Ning Shu's eyes were dazzled. She looked at the room full of women. There were all kinds. There were charming, cold, plump, and fragrant. The room was filled with fragrance. It was simply a pleasure. This concubine pays her respects to the Empress. May the Empress have good fortune and peace. The concubine Ning Shu bowed. Ning Shu looked at these beautiful women. So beautiful. Rise. Ning Shu said faintly. As soon as Ning Shu's voice fell, a woman suddenly said, Nyang Nyang, last night the emperor stayed in noble consort Xian's palace. Ah. Ning Shu's expression was indifferent, but she was surprised. Last night, Little Fox was injured. Hu Qing didn't accompany Little Fox and actually had sex with a woman. Wasn't Hu Qing abstinent? He hadn't had sex with concubines for many months. Why did he suddenly have sex with concubines? Noble consort Xian has arrived. The eunuch outside the hall shouted. Noble consort Xian only arrived at this time. When noble consort Xian walked in, her body was a bit stiff. When she walked, her waist swayed slightly. Noble consort Xian's face was pink. Her entire person seemed to be shrouded in the clouds. She was in high spirits. It seemed that Hu Qing really did have sex with noble consort Xian last night. As soon as noble consort Xian walked in, she was met with all kinds of envious and jealous gazes. Noble consort Xian endured her discomfort and bowed to Ning Shu. This concubine pays her respects to the Empress. I'm really unwell and came late. Please forgive me. Ning Shu nodded and let noble consort Xian sit down. Noble consort Xian, yesterday was the 15th. Why did the emperor come to your palace? A concubine directly tried to sow discord. Noble consort Xian's expression changed. She quickly explained, last night, the emperor suddenly came to this concubine's palace in the middle of the night. Last night, the emperor suddenly came. Without saying anything, he pressed her under his body and then did all kinds of things to her. Thinking of the scene last night, noble consort Xian's face turned red again. Her beauty was indescribable. Seeing noble consort Xian like this, the other concubines felt a burst of envy and jealousy. The emperor hadn't come to the inner palace for a long time, but noble consort Xian had taken the lead. If it was the empress, it would be fine to endure, but it was a concubine. Everyone almost tore the handkerchief in their hands. Ning Shu felt that it was quite boring. So many beautiful women were jealous of a man, but Hu Qing didn't like these beauties. He liked a fox. It was simply ridiculous. Ning Shu suddenly felt that the women in this room, including himself, were quite miserable. Their lives were worse than a beast's. Ning Shu reintroduced these concubines. For example, the one who had just instigated discord was Lan Jiayu. Then there was the incomparably cold consort Da, and the enchanting noble consort Song. Ning Shu felt that it was boring and had everyone leave. It was quite boring to gather together and say such sour words. It was better to practice martial arts. The concubines all left. Only noble consort Xian stayed. Ning Shu asked, Noble consort, is there anything else? Noble consort Xian hesitated and said, Nyang Nyang, last night, Ningxu waved her hand and interrupted noble consort Xian, "It's a good thing that the emperor is here. It's also good to give birth to an heir for the emperor." Noble consort Xian didn't know if the empress was telling the truth or not. She bowed and left. After she left, Qingzhu and Ningxu comforted Nyang. Qingzhu originally wanted to comfort Ningxu, but she didn't know what to say. Ningxu didn't care who Huqing was here with. She only needed to complete her task. The marshal's residence was executed. Moreover, the dragon robe and the correspondence of the enemy country were found in the residence. This matter wasn't done by Huqing. Ningxu twisted her head off. Moreover, it meant that there was a spy in the marshal's residence. It must be Huqing's people. As long as the marshal's residence was there, her position was stable. Huqing didn't dare to directly depose her. The most important thing was to stabilize the marshal's residence. Chapter 231. Ningxu pretended to visit the little fox. The little fox was lying on the dragon bed. Other than the cloth wrapped around her forelimbs, everything else was fine. She was full of energy. When the little fox saw Ningxu, her eyes were filled with hostility. She used her other forelimb to carelessly play with the ball. The ball was exquisitely made and the material was very soft. The little fox was speechless. She hated this empress. She was Huqing's wife, so the little fox hated her. Her legs were injured because of this woman and she couldn't move for a long time. Huqing didn't allow her to run. She was bored to death. This palace was so boring. She was so unlucky. How did she become a fox? Heavens, heaven and earth, how could she be so unlucky? Ningxu looked at the little fox, whose eyes were darting around. She looked extremely intelligent and human-like. No wonder Huqing doted on this little fox so much. "Why are you here?" Huqing walked in and saw Ningxu in the room. His face sank. When he saw the little fox playing on the dragon bed, his face softened. This concubine pays respects to the emperor. Ningxu respectfully bowed to Huqing. Huqing grunted. He didn't even look at Ningxu. He sat on the bed and reached out to touch the little fox's head. His eyes were full of affection. The little fox licked Huqing's finger. Huqing's eyes deepened. Ningxu felt like an outsider. He couldn't integrate into the atmosphere between the man and the fox. It was very awkward. The little fox seemed to have skin cravings and enjoyed Huqing's touch. Ningxu smacked his lips. He felt a little disgusted when he thought about the relationship between the two of them. It was beyond the relationship between a master and a pet. Ningxu stood at the side like a block of wood. Huqing asked Ningxu, "Is there anything else, Empress?" "This concubine is here to deliver medicine." Ningxu took out the medicine bottle and placed it on the table. "This medicine powder is very effective for wounds." "Sorry to trouble you, Empress," Huqing said indifferently. His fingers stroked the little fox's golden fur. It was so furry that Huqing's fingers almost sank into her fur. Ningxu bit his lips and looked at Huqing with a bitter expression. Huqing looked up and met Ningxu's eyes. "Is there anything else?" Ningxu blinked and let his eyes fill with tears. He said bitterly, "Your Majesty, you went to noble consort Xian's palace last night." "Your Majesty, yesterday was the 15th. Huqing's expression darkened. His first reaction was to look at the little fox. The little fox immediately pointed its butt at Huqing and wagged its golden tail. It was clearly angry. "Is the Empress reprimanding me? This emperor is the son of heaven, is there any place that this emperor cannot go?" Huqing almost flew into a rage out of humiliation. He looked at Ningxu with an unfriendly gaze. Clearly, he was dissatisfied with Ningxu saying such things in front of the little fox. Huqing had never treated the little fox as an ordinary fox. She was very smart and knew everything. Now that she was like this, it meant that she was angry. Ning Shu's expression was very sad. He couldn't speak and looked like he had lost his soul. The little fox looked at Ning Shu. Ning Shu bared his little fangs as if he was mocking him. Ning Shu looked at her indifferently. Finally, he bowed to Huaqing. This concubine will take her leave. Huaqing waved his hand. He seemed to be very impatient with Ning Shu and told him to leave quickly. As soon as Ning Shu went out, he heard the crisp sound of porcelain falling to the ground. He looked back and saw the little fox sitting on the table. She had pushed the medicine bottle she had placed on the table off the table. It fell to the ground and some of the medicine powder spilled out. The little fox whimpered at Huaqing. Huaqing's face was full of affection. He tapped its pink nose. "You little fellow, if you don't like the Empress things, then we won't accept the Empress things in the future." The little fox was a little happier. It raised its head slightly and whimpered angrily at Huaqing. Huaqing seemed to be able to read minds. He explained to the little fox. "Last night, we were wrong. We shouldn't have gone to noble consort Xian's palace. You little thing, you were jealous." The little fox nuzzled Huaqing's neck and whimpered. "From now on, we will only like you, little thing. Naughty little thing." Huaqing felt a piercing pain in his neck. The little fox was biting him, but it wasn't very painful. He knew that the little fox was punishing him. Huaqing's face showed an intoxicated and forbearing expression. Ning Shu didn't know how the man and fox communicated. It was amazing. Was this the legendary telepathy? They could understand each other's thoughts with just a look. How amazing! TSK, TSK, TSK. Ning Shu rubbed his eyes and decided not to watch. He went back to his palace and let them be lovey-dovey. "Nyang Nyang, madam is here." She is waiting for Nyang Nyang in the hall. Ning Shu had just arrived at the palace when Qing Zhu came to greet him. Ning Shu hurried into the hall and saw a woman wearing a noble robe sitting in the hall. This was the original owner's mother, Zhao Shi. This subject greets Nyang Nyang. When Zhao Shi saw Ning Shu, her eyes were full of concern. Ning Shu hurriedly supported Zhao Shi. "Mother, please rise. How is Nyang Nyang's health? I heard that Nyang Nyang wasn't feeling well." Ning Shu asked Zhao Shi. "Did the imperial physician prescribe medicine?" Ning Shu smiled and said, "Mother, your daughter is fine." "How are grandfather and father?" "Your father is fine. Your grandfather is old and has some minor problems. It's nothing serious." Lady Zhao nodded and said, "Your father heard that you were not in good health in the palace, so he was a little worried." "Mother, I'm fine. Don't let father worry. Your daughter is fine." Ning Shu said to Zhao Shi with concern. "Mother, you also need to take care of your health." Zhao Shi looked around and whispered to Ning Shu, "Nyang Nyang, yesterday was the 15th. Was the emperor resting in your palace?" "Ning Shu, he was in daughter's palace." Ning Shu changed the topic and had Qing Zhu take the box. Ning Shu said to Zhao Shi, "Mother, this is all the tonics that daughter gave to grandfather and father. You should take them back." Zhao Shi waved her hand, "The family doesn't lack for things. Nyang Nyang can keep these things. This is daughter's filial piety." Ning Shu forced Zhao Shi to accept it. When she handed it to Zhao Shi, she whispered, "Give it to grandfather." Zhao Shi's expression was normal. She said with a smile, "Many thanks for Nyang Nyang's reward." Zhao Shi and Ning Shu both had things on their minds. Then, after a few words, Zhao Shi left. Ning Shu could only hope that grandfather could understand what he wanted to say. Thinking that he was going against Huaqing, the emperor, Ning Shu's legs went soft. From the memories of the original, Huaqing was a person with true ability. He was a man who was scheming and suspicious. Ning Shu had to be careful. he couldn't reveal any flaws. They had been husband and wife for many years. Even if Hu Qing didn't like his wife, he still understood Xiao Xiao. When Ning Shu was in front of Hu Qing, she had to pretend to adore him and help him. Chapter 232. Little Munchkin, Hu Qingwang, came over with the puppy. He handed his handwriting to Ning Shu. Ning Shu looked at Hu Qingwang's handwriting and said happily, "Qingwang's handwriting is much better than before." Hu Qingwang looked at Ning Shu with watery eyes and said shyly, "Mother, I will study hard. Recently, father hasn't tested me on homework. I have memorized a lot of books." Now, Hu Qingwang was very disappointed. It was as if he had worked very hard only to find that there was no test. He didn't have the chance to show off. Ning Shu reached out and picked up the fur on the neck of the puppy in Hu Qingwang's arms. The puppy struggled and looked very cute. "Mother, be gentle." Hu Qingwang looked at the puppy with heartache. Ning Shu stuffed the puppy back into Hu Qingwang's arms. She looked at him seriously and said, "Qingwang, you are not studying for anyone else. You are not studying for father or mother. You are studying for yourself." Ning Shu still felt that Hu Qingwang was too lonely. There were no children of the right age to play with in the palace. That was why he was so attracted to the little fox in the plot. Xiao Xiao loved her son, but she put more pressure and expectation on Hu Qingwang. Hu Qingwang couldn't bear the burden. He should find a partner for this child. He couldn't play with a dog every day. He should find a study partner. Ning Shu first thought of the original owner's brother. He had a son who was 1 or 2 years older than Hu Qingwang. This child was also beheaded in that accident. The original owner thought of his nephew. He had died at such a young age. Because of him, the whole family was executed. The emperor was heartless. His son was unfilial. There were too many things weighing on his heart. In the end, the original owner chose to commit suicide. "Do you still remember your brother Qingyang? Mother will let brother Qingyang come into the palace to accompany you, okay?" Ning Shu asked Hu Qingwang. "Mother wants Qingwang to be happy." "Really?" Hu Qingwang looked at Ning Shu and said happily, "There will be a brother coming into the palace to accompany me?" "That's right." Ning Shu saw how happy Hu Qingwang was. He should let Hu Qingwang interact with other children. Ning Shu sent someone to inform his grandfather of this matter. The next day, Xiao Qingyang was sent to the palace. Xiao Qingyang looked strong, like a little calf. At first glance, one could tell that he was from a military family. Speaking of which, the Xiao clan was also filled with talents, with 4 generations living under the same roof. But in the end, not a single one of them survived, which made one's heart ache. "Auntie." Xiao Qingyang called out to Ning Shu. "Call her imperial concubine, not auntie." Zhao Shi unhappily patted Ning Shu's head. "Nyang, this boy is unruly. I'm afraid that he will offend the other Nyang when he enters the palace." "Grandmother, don't pat my head," Xiao Qingyang said loudly to Zhao Shi while rubbing his head. "Mother, don't worry. Your daughter will take good care of Qingyang." Ning Shu let the eager Hu Qingwang greet Xiao Qingyang. Ning Shu let the 2 children go out to play. Seeing Hu Qingwang so happy, Ning Shu also felt relieved. This could be considered as doing something for the original owner's son. Zhao Shi Ning Shu said, "Father told me to thank Nyang for the things. Father said that he knows and will take care of it. Nyang doesn't need to worry." "Mother, the marshal's mansion is like the sun in the sky right now. There will always be some rascals scheming to deal with the marshal's mansion. We have to be careful with every step we take. Mother and sister-in-law must restrain the people in the mansion. Also, don't let people of unknown origins come to the marshal's mansion and use the marshal's mansion's prestige and power to bully others." Ning Shu suspected that the dragon robe and letter were the doing of the marshal's mansion. Right now, the marshal's mansion was a target. It had an empress and even gave birth to the eldest son of the first wife. The marshal held a large number of troops in his hands. No matter how one looked at it, the marshal's mansion was flourishing and had boundless wealth. Zhao Shi quickly said, "I will definitely pay attention." Xiao Qingyang stayed in the palace. Ning Shu let the two children live together. Every day, she set a time for them to study and play. They had to follow this schedule. Otherwise, she would send the puppy and Xiao Qingyang away. Hu Qingwang was now used to having someone to accompany him. If he returned to his old lonely days, he would rather die than live. He promised Ning Shu that he would study hard with Xiao Qingyang. Ning Shu nodded. She had the two children come to her palace to eat 3 meals a day. Ning Shu felt that Hu Qingwang had grown taller over this period of time. His appetite had clearly increased. When Hu Qingwang and Xiao Qingyang were eating, they would sneakily throw meat under the table for the puppy. Ning Shu pretended not to see it. Hu Qingwang was now very close to Ning Shu. Sometimes, he wouldn't call her mother, but Ning Shu mother. Although this brat wasn't her biological son, she had raised him for a period of time. Ning Shu's heart softened. This child was just too lonely. "Have you played with the little fox recently?" Ning Shu patted Hu Qingwang's head and asked. Hu Qingwang said, "The little fox hasn't come out of Imperial Father's chambers recently. I haven't played with it." Ning Shu nodded. "The little fox's claws are very sharp. Play with it less in the future. It's a beast after all. It will hurt if you get scratched. Although your brother Qingyang knows some martial arts, I can't protect you all the time." Hu Qingwang nodded. "I won't let brother Qingyang get hurt. Brother Qingyang and the puppy will play with me." Ning Shu let out a long sigh of relief. Finally, this brat didn't play with the little fox and run around blindly. "Go play with brother Qingyang. Be careful," Ning Shu reminded Hu Qingwang. Ever since the little fox got injured, Hu Qing hadn't entered the harem for a long time. A group of concubines ran to Ning Shu and cried. Ning Shu felt a headache when she saw such a large group of women sobbing in front of her and wiping their tears with handkerchiefs. Damn it, she really felt that being the empress was miserable. She had to share her husband with so many women. Her husband didn't fuck off with these women, but these women still cried and made a fuss in front of the empress, asking the empress to find her husband and fuck off with these women. Damn it, it couldn't get any more miserable. It wasn't easy to be a virtuous empress. Ning Shu silently watched these women cry. The person who should be crying the most should be the original owner of this body. Why did it feel like this empress was the head housekeeper who came to her for everything? If you want to sleep with Hu Qing, go get him yourself. What was the point of crying to her? Ning Shu said indifferently, "All right, stop crying. His Majesty is busy with court matters and has no time to enter the harem. You should be more concerned about His Majesty's health. Instead of crying in front of me, you might as well make some tonic soup and send it to His Majesty." The concubines looked at each other in dismay. In the end, they took their leave and walked away with light steps. They were probably going back to make something to eat. The little fox would probably get angry again when she saw the things the concubines sent over. Ning Shu expressed that she was doing it on purpose to annoy people. There were so many concubines in the harem, but she insisted on having an ambiguous relationship with a fox. Although she was human on the inside, she was a beast on the outside. Chapter 233. When the concubines received Ning Shu's instructions, they sent food to him 3 times a day, constantly trying to make their presence known. Hu Qing's expression didn't change in the face of the concubines' enthusiasm. He didn't summon any of the concubines, afraid that the little fox would be angry. But the little fox was very angry when she saw the soup and pastries. The emperor was indeed a stud horse. The little fox despised Hu Qing in her heart and felt sour in her heart. Hua Qing doted on her a lot, but she was a fox. There were so many picturesque beauties in his harem. What was she? Oh heavens, how could she be a fox? The frustrated little fox ruined all the pastries and soup, making a mess on the table. The little eunuch next to her lowered his head and pretended not to see. Hua Qing didn't care about the soup. Instead, he said to the little fox in a doting manner, "Shouldn't your anger be appeased? Little thing, why are you so cute?" The little fox whimpered and turned to leave in a tsundere manner. Her whole body was full of arrogance that said, "I'm very angry. Don't talk to me. Even if you talk to me, I'll ignore you." Hua Qing laughed and picked up the little fox. "Why is your temper so wild? You're so cute. I don't know what to do with you." The little fox was angry, but when she saw Hua Qing so happy, she couldn't help but bare her teeth and fiercely bite Hua Qing's finger. This time, the little fox used a lot of strength and bit Hua Qing's finger. The wound bled. "Your Majesty," the little eunuch asked in shock, "should we summon the imperial physician?" "There's no need." Hua Qing thought for a moment and directly put the finger that the little fox bit into his mouth. He could even feel the little fox's breath on his finger. Hua Qing's heart was beating like thunder. He felt that he was indirectly kissing the little fox. Hua Qing couldn't help but move his tongue. Although his mouth was full of the taste of blood, Hua Qing felt his whole body heat up. What was wrong with him? Was he sick? Woo woo woo. The little fox saw that she had bitten Hua Qing and was bleeding. She immediately looked at Hua Qing with an anxious and guilty expression. Her wet eyes were filled with tears. "Your Majesty, this little fox has injured the dragon body. Do you want to?" Before the little eunuch could finish speaking, he met Hua Qing's cold gaze. He was so frightened that he immediately plopped down. "Your Majesty, spare my life, Your Majesty, spare my life. Drag him down and give him 20 beatings. He'll know what to say and what not to say," Hua Qing said coldly. Immediately, guards came in and dragged the little eunuch out. The personal eunuch beside Hua Qing said, "Your Majesty, I will also go out to supervise the execution." Hua Qing wished that there was no one else in the room. He waved his hand and dismissed his personal eunuch, Eunuch Chiu. After Eunuch Chiu left, Hua Qing hugged the little fox and said, "Little thing, your anger has subsided. Look, you've bitten me. If there's a next time, I won't let you off so easily." Although Hua Qing said that he was going to punish the little fox, his tone was very charming. The little fox blushed a little. She was secretly glad that she had a fox face. Otherwise, she would definitely be blushing right now. Thinking about how this man doted on her so much, the little fox's tears fell. To have a man like this to dote on her was a little compensation from the heavens for transmigrating into a fox. "Little fox, don't cry. I was only joking when I said that I was going to punish you. I said that you're not allowed to cry again. If you cry again, I'll kiss you." Hua Qing said those words in a hurry. He was stunned and didn't dare to look directly into the little fox's eyes. The little fox lamented in her heart again. Why was she a fox? There was such a super handsome man in front of her and she couldn't even eat him. She was really going to break down. The little fox stuck out her tongue and licked Hua Qing's lips. Then, she intimately licked Hua Qing's cheek. "Since you dote on me so much, I'll give you a kiss." Hua Qing felt as if his whole body was soaked in boiling hot water. It was so uncomfortable that his lower body reacted. "Little thing, you're so naughty." Hua Qing's voice was a little hoarse. He placed the little fox on the bed. "I'm going to review the memorials. Be good here." The little fox lay on the dragon bed in boredom and rolled around. Hua Qing looked like he was seriously reviewing the memorials, but the cinnabar brush in his hand didn't fall down for a long time. He gripped the cinnabar brush so tightly that the veins on the back of his hand popped out. It looked like he was enduring a lot of pain. He stared straight at the memorials in front of him. His mind was filled with the little fox's cute appearance and the bone-deep tremor of her tongue licking his lips. He was going crazy. He was really going crazy. Outside the hall, the little eunuch was pressed down on a bench by the guards. He complained tearfully to his master, Eunuch Chiu. "Master, this servant didn't do anything wrong. You insensible thing. Can't you see that His Majesty is the most powerful person in the palace and that fox is the second most powerful person? Even Her Majesty the Empress can't compare to this fox. In the future, if you encounter anything, just turn a blind eye." Eunuch Chiu looked at the little eunuch with disappointment. The little eunuch cried and said, "Master, it's just an animal." Still not shutting up. "Do you think you've lived for too long and want to die?" Eunuch Chiu picked up his horsetail whisk and hit the little eunuch on the head. He ordered the guards, "Hit." The guards picked up the wooden planks and hit the little eunuch on the buttocks. It was so painful that the little eunuch cried out. The guards were a bit lighter on account of Eunuch Chiu. When the 20 planks came down, the little eunuch's eyes had already rolled back. Eunuch Chiu sighed and hurriedly found an imperial physician. In any case, the eunuch was his disciple. In the palace, they could be considered people who supported each other. Ning Shu was watching Hua Qingwang and Xiao Qingyang right when Qing Zhu walked into the hall and whispered into Ning Shu's ear, "Nyang Nyang, Xiao Zi, who serves His Majesty, has been hit." Ning Shu raised her eyebrows and said to the two children, "Continue writing. You're not allowed to be lazy. Imperial Mother will come to check in a moment." When they arrived at the main hall, Ning Shu asked, "Did you find out what the reason was?" Qing Zhu shook her head, "I only heard that His Majesty said it himself." "I'll go find out more." Ning Shu waved her hand and said calmly, "No need. Don't worry about this matter. Send some medicine to Xiao Zi. I'll remember." Qing Zhu left. Ning Shu tapped his finger on the table and made a rhythmic sound. This matter was most likely related to the little fox. Hua Qing's love for the little fox was built on the pain of others. The more callous he was to others, the more it would appear that Hua Qing doted on the little fox. Unprincipled and bottomless doting, it felt like the little fox was about to ascend to the heavens. Ning Shu suddenly laughed. True love was standing on the opposite side of the world. He didn't know if the little fox could be with Hua Qing when he stood on the opposite side of the world. Chapter 234. Imperial Mother, I've finished writing. Can I go play with older cousin? Hua Qingwang and Xiao Qingyang came over from the side chamber, holding the written characters in their hands. Ning Shu took a look and said, "Starting tomorrow, Qingyang will write 10 more characters every day. Your handwriting is really ugly. This consort remembers that your father's handwriting was very good. My father knows how to write. I've never seen my father write before. My mother said that my father's handwriting is like a dog's scratch." Xiao Qingyang asked Ning Shu with a shocked expression. Ning Shu was speechless. Naughty child. Hua Qingwang covered his mouth and laughed. Ning Shu waved his hand. Go play. After the two naughty children left, Ning Shu planned to enter the bedchamber to meditate and train his body before doing anything. Not long after, Hua Qingwang ran over in tears with a panicked expression. Ning Shu shouted, "Imperial Mother, save me. Imperial Father is going to beat Brother Qingyang to death." Ning Shu hurriedly got down from the bed. With a heavy expression, he picked up Hua Qingwang and asked, "Where is he?" "In the Imperial Garden." Hua Qingwang was so scared that he started crying. Imperial Father is so scary. Ning Shu quickly arrived at the Imperial Garden and saw Xiao Qingyang being pressed down on a stool, struggling like a little calf. "Stop, this consort stops." Ning Shu saw that the board was about to land on Xiao Qingyang's body and hurriedly called out. Xiao Qingyang was only a 7 or 8-year-old child. If this board hit him, wouldn't it kill him? Hua Qing, that bastard. Hua Qing's expression was cold when he saw Ning Shu arrive. The little fox was in Hua Qing's arms. The golden fur on her body reflected a beautiful luster under the sunlight. In all honesty, this fox was really beautiful. People couldn't help but want to stroke her fur. If it wasn't for Hua Qing, this fox's fur would probably have become a scarf around the necks of the concubines in the harem long ago. Ning Shu put Hua Qingwang down and bowed. He asked Hua Qing, "Your Majesty, did this child Xiao Qingyang do something wrong? You're running around the palace with the prince. As the prince's study companion, aren't you leading the prince astray by being so unrestrained?" Hua Qing's expression was very ugly. Xiao Qingyang was from the marshal's mansion, and Xiao Xiao actually had the marshal's mansion's child accompany him to study. Did she think that this position would be Hua Qingwang's in the future and had already arranged for someone to be by his side? Ning Shu took a deep breath and said, "Qingwang is still young. I want Qingwang to have a playmate, so I called Qingyang into the palace." Hua Qing's eyes were deep, and no one could understand his current emotions. He said lightly, "A loving mother leads to a useless son. Don't forget that Qingwang is a child of the royal family. He doesn't need any playmates at all. Some people are destined to be lonely. Come, beat this dog to death for Zhen. How can he be Zhen's child if he's so frivolous?" Hua Qing said with a heavy expression. Immediately, guards surrounded the puppy and hit it with a board. The puppy cried out miserably. It was hit in the head by the board and walked unsteadily. "Mother, mother, save the puppy. Mother." Hua Qingwang pulled on Ning Shu's sleeve and cried for help from Ning Shu. Ning Shu shook Hua Qingwang's head. This wasn't just about a dog. The puppy that was hit in the head fell to the ground and twitched. It whimpered twice and was hit in the head by another guard. The puppy's head was immediately deformed and blood splattered out. "Ah!" Hua Qingwang screamed. Ning Shu quickly picked up Hua Qingwang and let him lie in his arms. The moment the puppy was killed, Hua Qing covered the little fox's eyes. The little fox's body trembled as if it was afraid. Hua Qing moved closer to the little fox's ear and whispered, "Don't be afraid of Zhen. Zhen won't do this to you. That was just an animal. You are the most special in Zhen's heart." Hua Qing comforted the little fox and turned to Ning Shu. He said coldly, "The empress doesn't just have to manage the harem. She also has to take care of the child. As a child of the royal family, you can't be so willful." Ning Shu held the trembling Hua Qingwang and bowed to Hua Qing. She sighed and said, "Zhen will remember." Hua Qing ignored the sad Ning Shu and left with the little fox. Ning Shu glanced at Hua Qing's back and smiled coldly. Hua Qing really was a strong opponent. "Auntie." Xiao Qingyang's eyes were a little red. His legs were so weak that he couldn't get up. Ning Shu had the eunuch carry Xiao Qingyang. The puppy's body was collected and brought back. Hua Qingwang kept sobbing in Ning Shu's arms. His grip on Ning Shu tightened. His whole body was trembling, and his eyes were closed as if he didn't dare open them. Ning Shu sighed and gently patted his back. He said softly, "Qingwang, don't be afraid. Mother will protect you. Mother will protect Qingwang." Ning Shu carried Hua Qingwang all the way back to the bedroom. Hua Qingwang didn't let go of Ning Shu, so Ning Shu kept hugging him. "Auntie, I didn't take good care of the little prince." Xiao Qingyang wiped away Ning Shu's tears. "What happened?" Ning Shu asked with a frown. Xiao Qingyang told him everything that had happened. The two little turnips were chasing each other in the imperial garden. The little fox, who had recovered from its injuries, came out for a stroll. It ran into two people and a dog. The little fox saw the white and tender little boy playing with a stupid dog, so it ran over to tease the stupid dog. But how could a dog be as smart as the little fox? When it smelled the scent of the little fox, it chased after it. Hua Qing came to find the little fox. When he saw the little fox being chased by a dog, he immediately became angry. Especially when he saw the two animals rolling around and playing, he became even more angry and jealous. A strong possessiveness exploded in his heart. He directly walked over and kicked the dog away. He patted the dust off the little fox and held it in his arms. He looked at Hua Qingwang and Xiao Qingyang with an unfriendly gaze. Hua Qingwang hadn't seen his father in a long time. He was very happy to see Hua Qing. Before he could say anything, he was scolded by Hua Qing for being ignorant and incompetent. He scolded him for not having any royal etiquette. When he found out that Xiao Qingyang was Hua Qingwang's study companion, Hua Qing had Xiao Qingyang flogged when the prince made a mistake. Then, Hua Qingwang went to find Ning Shu. A dog had died in this accident, but Ning Shu knew that Hua Qing was warning him and the Xiao family. The little fox could really cause trouble wherever it went. Ning Shu couldn't directly confront Hua Qing without being completely confident. If you want to destroy someone, you must first make them crazy. Let's see what kind of crazy things Hua Qing would do to protect the little fox. He felt that it was really ironic. He had no feelings for his wife and didn't even have the slightest bit of gratitude. He was also indifferent to his own son, but he gave his passion to a fox. He gave almost all of his feelings to the fox. Ning Shu cursed inwardly. The female lead's golden finger was too big. It was so bright that he couldn't look straight at it. Chapter 235. Hua Qingwang was tired from crying in Ning Shu's arms. He closed his eyes and fell asleep. Ning Shu sighed and placed Hua Qingwang on the bed. She had Qing Zhu draw some warm water to wipe the tears off Hua Qingwang's face. Hua Qingwang's eyes were red and swollen. Ning Shu stayed by the bed. Xiao Qingyang blamed herself for not protecting her cousin and the little puppy's death. Auntie. Xiao Qingyang called out to Ning Shu. Ning Shu rubbed her forehead and said, Qingyang, you must have been frightened. Go eat something and rest. Now that Qingwang is like this, Auntie hopes that you can stay by his side. Hua Qingwang was probably hurt by today's events. Auntie, Qingyang will take good care of my cousin. Xiao Qingyang immediately patted her chest and promised Ning Shu. In the middle of the night, Hua Qingwang had a fever. His temperature was very high. Ning Shu was prepared. She had Qing Zhu bring a bowl of medicine to Hua Qingwang. However, Hua Qingwang only drank half of the medicine before spitting out the rest. Nyang nyang, should we call the imperial physician? Qing Zhu was so anxious that her face was red. Call the imperial physician over and then boil the medicine. Ning Shu wiped Hua Qingwang's body with a wet handkerchief. Hua Qingwang was too frightened today. Ning Shu wasn't surprised that he would fall ill. However, when she saw that Hua Qingwang was really sick, Ning Shu was still very anxious. The little person was lying on the bed and talking nonsense. Ning Shu was really afraid that Hua Qingwang had a fever. Qing Zhu called the imperial physician over to perform acupuncture on Hua Qingwang. When the medicine was served, Ning Shu immediately took the bowl of medicine and fed it to Hua Qingwang. Nyang nyang, let this servant do it. Qing Zhu saw that Ning Shu was anxious and quickly said. Ning Shu took a deep breath. It's fine. I'll do it myself. Nyang nyang, do you want to invite His Majesty over? Qing Zhu Ning Shu asked. Since the little prince was so seriously ill, His Majesty should come over to take a look. Ning Shu originally wanted to ask why she had called that damned person over, but considering that there was a room full of grand doctors present, she didn't want her gentle and empathetic image of the Empress to collapse. She could only suppress her grief and say, it's already midnight. The Emperor has already gone to bed. Tomorrow morning, the Emperor has an early court session. Don't disturb the Emperor's rest. The imperial physician looked at Ning Shu with pity in his eyes. Ning Shu's mouth twitched, and he wiped Hua Qingwang's body with a handkerchief. Your Highness. Qing Zhu's eyes were slightly red. Ning Shu felt that she was really miserable. The emperor that Ning Shu said had gone to bed wasn't asleep. Instead, he was lying on the bed, looking at the little fox sleeping on the table. The little fox looked at Hu Qing warily. When faced with such a gaze, Hu Qing felt as if his heart was being squeezed by a large hand. It was very uncomfortable. The fox he liked should have a sly, cute, clear, and charming look in her eyes. She shouldn't be looking at him with such a wary and unfamiliar gaze. The little fox wasn't afraid of Hu Qing. Although Hu Qing was the emperor, he was very good to her. But when he ordered the puppy's death today, the little fox was scared out of her wits. She finally understood that this man was an emperor who could live or die as he pleased. The little fox empathized with the puppy's death. She was no longer a human, but a fox. Human life was worthless, and she was just an animal. Hu Qing got up from the bed and walked in front of the little fox. He reached out and hugged the little fox. The little fox's fur stood on end. Hu Qing gently stroked the little fox's back and whispered softly, "You shouldn't be afraid of me. You are mine. Seeing you play with other people makes me very uncomfortable. Although you are a fox, I have never thought of you as a fox in my heart. You are more important than anyone else in my heart. You are my pet. I dote on you and love you dearly." Hu Qing looked at the little fox with a burning gaze. I have never seen such a beautiful and intelligent fox. When she met Hu Qing's gaze, the little fox's heart beat rapidly. When she heard Hu Qing's words, the little fox felt that she was very lucky. Although she had become a fox, she had met Hu Qing. The Transmigration god didn't treat her unfairly. The little fox felt that she was letting down Hu Qing's love by being so afraid of him. She looked at him with a guilty gaze and stuck out her tongue to lick Hu Qing's fingers. Hu Qing's body trembled slightly, and then he said happily, "Fox, you're not angry anymore." When the little fox saw the smile on Hu Qing's face, her eyes were filled with hearts. He really was a super handsome guy. Do I look good? Hu Qing smiled brightly at the little fox. The little fox immediately nodded. You look good, you look very good. Hu Qing stroked the fox's smooth ears and carried the little fox to the dragon bed. The man and the fox snuggled together. Ning Shu watched over Hu Chengwang for the entire night. After the imperial physician's efforts, Hu Chengwang's fever finally subsided and he stopped talking nonsense. Ning Shu sat by the bed and watched over him. He said to Xiao Qingyang, who was beside him, "Qingyang, go to sleep. Auntie, Qingyang is not tired. Qingyang will watch over cousin until he wakes up." Xiao Qingyang's eyes were red. He had cried before and stayed up all night. His eyes really looked like a rabbit's eyes. Ning Shu didn't force him. If he was tired, he could lie on the bed and sleep for a while. Imperial concubine, drink some hot tea. Qing Zhu held a teacup. Ning Shu took it and gulped it down. Then, she used a handkerchief to wipe the sweat off Hu Chengwang's body. Hu Chengwang slept for a day and a night before waking up. He opened his eyes and looked at Ning Shu in a daze. Ning Shu was dumbfounded. Could it be that there was something wrong with the fever? Imperial mother, Chengwang is scared. Hu Chengwang's voice was very hoarse. Ning Shu quickly poured some water for Hu Chengwang to drink. As Hu Chengwang drank the water, he cried. Ning Shu hugged Hu Chengwang and said softly, "Chengwang, don't be afraid. Imperial mother will definitely protect Chengwang. Cousin, you're awake." Xiao Qingyang, who was lying on the bed, woke up. When he saw that Hu Chengwang had woken up, he was so happy that he wanted to cry. Cousin. Hu Chengwang's body was very uncomfortable. It was so uncomfortable that he wanted to die. Ning Shu told Xiao Qingyang to go down and eat breakfast. Only Ning Shu and Hu Chengwang were left in the bedchamber. Ning Shu looked at Hu Chengwang and asked, Qingwang is blaming Imperial Mother. You're blaming Imperial Mother for not saving the puppy, aren't you? Hu Qingwang's tears fell again. Ning Shu asked hoarsely, why, Imperial Mother? Ning Shu shook his head and said indifferently, because Imperial Mother couldn't do it. Why? Hu Qingwang looked at Ning Shu in confusion. Ning Shu reached out and patted Hu Qingwang's head. Qingwang, it's because Imperial Mother is facing your Imperial Father. He is the most powerful person in the world. Everyone is a subject in front of him, including Imperial Mother and you. Imperial Mother has already saved your cousin. This can't be repeated. Qingwang, do you want Imperial Mother to give up on saving Qingyang and saving the puppy? No, Qingwang doesn't want anything to happen to cousin. Hu Qingwang shook his head. But why did Imperial Father beat the puppy to death? It didn't know anything. He was jealous and warned her and the Shao family. Chapter 236. Hu Qing was dissatisfied with her and with Shao Qingyang becoming Hu Qing's study companion. Hu Qingwang felt terrible. He had never felt so terrible before. Ning Shu sighed and said, Mother has taken care of the puppy's body. When you are better, bury it. Hu Qingwang stared at Ning Shu and asked word by word, Imperial Father also has a little fox by his side. Imperial Father can raise a little fox, but he said that I lost my will to play around and killed a little dog. Why can Imperial Father do it, but I can't? Qingwang wants to know why. Ning Shu looked at this child. He was different from before. After experiencing pain, he should have come to his senses. Even though he had the noble identity of a prince, this nobility was like duckweed without roots. Ning Shu smiled faintly. Why? Because your father is the emperor. He controls the fate of the world. He holds our fate in his hands. No one can provoke him. He has the absolute power to protect the things he loves. He can take away the most important things of others, but no one dares to say anything. Father is the emperor. He has the power to protect the things he loves. Hu Qingwang looked at Ning Shu in a daze. Ning Shu hugged Hu Qingwang and said faintly, Qingwang, there is nothing absolute in this world. Everyone has to pay the price for their actions. Mother hopes that Qingwang can be happy, but do not desire the affection of an ordinary family from your father. Your father is the emperor. He controls our fate. Even our lives are in the hands of others, let alone feelings. Mother, what should Qingwang do to not feel so terrible? Hu Qingwang shed tears and looked at Ning Shu. I want to protect Mother. I want to protect the things that I cherish. I don't want what happened today to happen again. Mother, I feel terrible. I feel terrible. Ning Shu's heart ached. She used her handkerchief to wipe away the tears on Hu Qingwang's face and patted his back. Qingwang, be happy. Your Imperial Father can't take away your happiness. Imperial Mother hopes that Qingwang will be happy. Imperial Mother will seek justice for what happened today. Mother. Hu Qingwang threw himself into Ning Shu's arms and wailed. Ning Shu, however, breathed a sigh of relief. Venting was better than holding it in. There were still tears on Hu Qingwang's face. Ning Shu wiped the tears off his face with a handkerchief. Nyang Nyang, have some food. Qing Zhu's face was somewhat haggard. She had accompanied Ning Shu to keep watch for the entire night. Ning Shu took the bowl of porridge and said to Hu Qingwang, Qingwang, eat something. You'll get better faster. Ning Shu fed Hu Qingwang spoonful after spoonful of porridge. Hu Qingwang asked Ning Shu, Imperial Mother, has Imperial Father been here? Has Imperial Father come to see me? No. Ning Shu shook his head. Qingwang, Mother said not to have too many feelings and expectations for your Imperial Father. I just want Imperial Father to know that what he did before was wrong. He caused me a lot of harm. I am his son. I want to see Imperial Father feel a bit of guilt, said Hu Qingwang. Ning Shu had a smile on his face. Imperial Mother's Qingwang has grown up. However, even if some people hurt others, they don't feel it. Even if they feel that they hurt others, they still won't take it to heart. After Hu Qingwang finished a bowl of porridge, he lay down to rest. Ning Shu saw that he was still crying under the blankets. Ning Shu sighed in his heart. He casually ate a bit of food and kept watch by the bed. Nyang Nyang, Madam has handed over a token and wants to enter the palace to see the little prince, Qing Zhu whispered into Ning Shu's ear. Ning Shu waved his hand. Tell them not to hand over tokens to the palace for now. Don't let women enter the palace for a while. Qingyang will stay in the palace. Given Qingwang's current situation, he should have a companion by his side. Tell mother not to worry. Ben Gong will protect Qingyang. Qing Zhu left with a worried expression on her face. After breakfast, Xiao Qingyang came over to keep watch, waiting for his little cousin to wake up. Ning Shu didn't want to see the concubines at all. He wasn't in the mood at all. The concubines sent over a lot of things. Ning Shu had Qing Zhu stuff them into the storeroom without even looking at them. At noon, Hu Qing finally found out that his son was sick. He came over with a cold expression. Ning Shu felt his balls ache. If he didn't want to come, then so be it. Hu Qing asked Ning Shu, why didn't you tell Zhen that Qingwang was sick? If the Empress's father hadn't asked about the little prince's health during the morning court session, he wouldn't have known that Qingwang was sick. Hu Qing instantly felt that his dignity was being challenged. He was the master of the imperial palace. Someone else actually knew what was happening at home before he did. Everyone outside knew what was happening in the imperial palace. What did they think the imperial palace was? When Ning Shu heard Hu Qing's words, he became a Spartan. He had never seen such a shameless person. He scared his son until he fell ill, and now he was questioning him. Ning Shu was roaring in his heart, but on the surface, he looked tired and anxious to explain. Qingwang got sick late at night, so Qinxie didn't disturb your majesty. You should have sent someone to tell Zhen in the morning. When he was questioned by his father-in-law, Hu Qing was almost dumbfounded. This made Hu Qing very unhappy. Ning Shu said indifferently, Qinxie didn't sleep all night. My mind was really muddled. I forgot to send someone to tell your majesty. It was Qinxie's fault. Hu Qing was speechless for a moment. He sat by the bed and looked at the sleeping Qingwang. He asked, how is he now? Much better, Ning Shu said. Hu Qing's expression was not good. He said coldly, as my child, he actually got sick over such a small matter. How can he be worthy of being my son? Ning Shu, fuck your mother, fuck, you speak as if your son wasn't human. He wasn't made of flesh and blood and wouldn't be sad. In the end, he just didn't care. If the child on the bed was his and the little fox's child, he would probably be roaring and chopping off the imperial physician's head. Ning Shu's mouth twitched. She said indifferently, Qinxie will take good care of Qingwang. Hu Qing dilly-dallied for a while before leaving. It didn't even take the time to drink a cup of tea. He probably went back to find the little fox. He was afraid that the little fox would be angry. With Ning Shu accompanying him day and night and Xiao Qingyang watching over him, Qingwang's illness took more than a month to recover. After enduring for a month, Ning Shu felt that he had lost weight. Hu Qing only came once. He didn't come at all other times. He felt very cold. He was so cold to his own child. Qingwang didn't ask if his father came to see him again. Ning Shu felt that Qingwang had changed a lot. He was no longer as lively and playful as before. Now, Ning Shu didn't have to say anything. He would study on his own. Ning Shu often counseled Qingwang. In the past, he tried to think of ways to get Qingwang to study. Now, he wanted Qingwang to pay attention to the balance between work and rest. Being a mother was so hard. Chapter 237. Ning Shu's mind had been focused on Hu Qingyang during this time, so he rarely asked about the affairs of the imperial harem. He asked Qing Zhu, "What happened recently?" Qing Zhu thought for a moment and said, "Actually, it's nothing much. It's just that the emperor's pets like to go to the palaces of the imperial concubines and break things, which annoys the imperial concubines. They originally wanted to ask the imperial concubines for justice, but this servant pushed them away. The imperial concubines went to the emperor and were scolded by the emperor. Wasn't this asking for a rebuff? With Hu Qing's love for the little fox, even if the imperial palace was burned down, it would be fine. These imperial concubines were also stupid. They simply set up rat traps in the palace like she did. If they were caught, they deserved it. It wasn't that these imperial concubines didn't think of it, but they didn't dare to. Before hitting a dog, one had to look at its master. This fox's master was the emperor, so they could only swallow it. It was quite hard to get to this point, but it didn't make sense for them to live so comfortably. Hu Qing hadn't visited the imperial concubines in a long time. These imperial concubines were bored and wanted to find something to do to pass the time. Noble consort Xian came to invite Ning Shu to watch a play. Ning Shu wasn't interested in the play. But thinking of the two little radishes, he agreed to go see the play tomorrow. Noble consort Xian told Ning Shu about the play. After hesitating, Ning Shu asked, "Imperial concubine, is there something wrong with the emperor's body? Why is he unwilling to let the imperial concubines in the imperial harem serve him?" Now, it had developed to the point where even the 15th day of the month was in the imperial concubine's palace. This made the imperial concubines in the imperial harem feel distressed. "There's something wrong with his body. You think there's something wrong with the emperor's body?" Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and asked. Noble consort Xian's face immediately turned red. She remembered the last time the emperor slept with her. He was very fierce and there was no problem at all. Then why is the emperor unwilling to enter the imperial harem? Noble consort Xian frowned and asked, "Could it be that the emperor is hiding a woman, a vixen?" Ning Shu, it really is a vixen. The next day, Ning Shu took her two children, Hu Qingyang and Xiao Qingyang, with a long line of palace maids following behind them, to the stage. When they arrived, there were already many concubines waiting. Ning Shu immediately bowed. Ning Shu held Hu Qingyang's hand and said with a smile, "Sit down. Nyang Nyang, you should act." Imperial concubine Xian handed the list of tricks to Ning Shu. Ning Shu took it and smiled at Hu Qingyang. "Qingyang, what do you like?" Hu Qingyang looked at it and finally chose a drama about King Wu defeating King Zhou. It was a story about overthrowing the tyrannical and muddle-headed King Zhou. Ning Shu raised her eyebrows and glanced at Hu Qingyang. She must be thinking too much. How could a little radish like Hu Qingyang have this kind of awareness now? Ning Shu casually chose a play and gave it to Imperial concubine Xian. Then, the concubines all chose the plays they liked. As Ning Shu listened to the babbling and singing, her mind began to race. She thought about things and occasionally looked at Hu Qingyang, who was watching the play with great interest. While the concubines were watching happily, Hu Qing was reviewing memorials in the imperial study. The little fox sat on the table, bored. She used her claws to poke at the memorials on the table. Listening to the gongs and drums outside, it was very lively. She didn't want to stay in this boring study. Hu Qing put down the cinnabar pen and looked at the little fox's dispirited appearance. He patted her head and said, "Do you want to go and take a look?" The little fox quickly nodded and looked at Hu Qing with great desire. She kept blinking her eyes and acting cute, hoping that Hu Qing would let her go. "Isn't it just watching a play? Zhen will take you there." Hu Qing's body heated up under the little fox's gaze. Hu Qing quickly picked up the little fox, afraid that he would lose control under such a gaze. Now, the other party's gaze was enough to make him panic. It was simply torture. Hua Qing's eyes were deep. He looked at the little fox in his arms who was looking around. Was there a way to turn the little fox into a human? The emperor has arrived. The eunuch's shrill voice sounded. No one thought that Hua Qing would suddenly come. The concubines' faces were filled with extreme joy. Hua Qing's arrival caused a commotion. The concubines quickly tidied up their clothes and adjusted the hairpin in their hair. In short, they wanted to be in their best state to welcome Hua Qing. Ning Shu was very curious why Hua Qing had suddenly come to the back palace. But then she saw the little golden fox in Hua Qing's arms and her heart suddenly had a bad feeling. She really didn't want to be in the same frame as the female lead. Whenever the female lead appeared, something would happen. Qinxia pays respects to the emperor. Ning Shu bowed to Hua Qing. Qinxia pays respects to the emperor. The concubines also bowed. Qinxia pays respects to Fu Huang. Hua Qinwang obediently bowed to Hua Qing. Hua Qing looked Hua Qinwang up and down and said, even if your body is better, don't run around. Yes, Qinxia will remember. Hua Qinwang was very obedient. He glanced at the little fox in Hua Qing's arms, bit his lip, and finally looked away. The little fox was held in Hua Qing's arms. Seeing these concubines flirting with each other, it felt very uncomfortable. Thinking that these people were all Hua Qing's women, the little fox cursed Hua Qing in its heart. It regretted coming to watch the show. The little fox's eyes widened. It bared its teeth and whimpered at these concubines. Hua Qing coldly grunted. He sat in the chair and said indifferently, you guys continue to watch the show. Don't mind Zhen. Ning Shu sat next to Hua Qing. The little fox immediately bared its teeth at Ning Shu. Its eyes were filled with unfriendliness and disdain. Ning Shu looked at her indifferently. Fuck, one day I'll skin you and make you into a scarf. The little fox's hair stood on end under Ning Shu's gaze. She was indeed a vicious woman. On the surface, she appeared gentle and considerate, but she was a hypocrite. She really pitied Hua Qing. These concubines in the harem were all here for glory and wealth. Which one of them truly loved Hua Qing? The stage was singing, but all the concubines' attention was on Hua Qing. Hua Qing didn't say anything. He stroked the little fox's golden fur. He didn't want to pay attention to anyone, but he couldn't resist the concubine's enthusiasm. He desperately tried to find a topic to talk about. Your Majesty, this fox is really beautiful. A concubine wearing a pink palace dress said sweetly to Hua Qing. Her smile was like a flower. Ning Shu looked at her. She was just a beauty. She was basically not favored. She probably had to muster up her courage to take a gamble. Humph, what an ugly smile. The little fox was annoyed. It gently scratched Hua Qing's palm with its claws. Don't look, don't look. What's so good about this woman? This concubine has many furs, but none of them are as beautiful as this one. Beauty Lin continued. Ning Shu wanted to cover his face. He sighed in his heart. He had flattered the wrong horse. Chapter 238. This beauty wanted to praise the little fox's beauty, but she used the fur in her closet as a comparison. Not all the concubines in the harem were scheming, and there were some who were naive and sweet. When the little fox heard the word fur, all the fur on its body stood up and it shrieked at the beauty. Hua Qing looked coldly at Beauty Lin and comforted the little fox. He said gently, it's fine. With me here, no one will dare to do anything to you. The concubines were stunned when they saw Hua Qing's gentle appearance. They had never seen the emperor so gentle. It could melt their hearts, but this gentleness was directed at a beast. Envy, jealousy, and hatred were scratching their hearts and lungs. With Hua Qing's assurance, the little fox raised its chin proudly. It still felt angry, so it jumped down from Hua Qing's body and onto Beauty Lin. It reached out its claws and messed up her hair. Beauty Lin screamed. Beauty Lin screamed. She was in a sorry state. The little fox was very pleased. Look, all of them were pretending to be nice all the time. Now they were all exposed. Humph, bad woman. She even wanted to skin it. She was simply vicious. Don't think that she didn't know what this woman was thinking. The little fox raised its claws and scratched at Beauty Lin's face. Immediately, several bloody wounds appeared on Beauty Lin's face. Beauty Lin fell to the ground in pain. She covered her face with her hands. Blood flowed through the gaps between her fingers. My face, my face. Ning Shu stood up and wanted to call for an imperial physician, but Hu Qing spoke first. Beauty Lin has been disrespectful in front of the palace. She will be demoted to Yeting. This was only a beauty, so Hu Qing didn't care at all. If it was the empress or other concubines with strong family backgrounds, he would definitely not do this. Kill the chicken to warn the monkey. First, it was for Hu. He wanted her to be at ease and know that no one in the palace could hurt her. Second, it was to warn these women that this fox was his and he wouldn't let these concubines hurt Hu. The little fox raised its head and walked proudly towards Hu Qing. She was enforcing justice on behalf of the heavens. Don't think that she didn't know this beauty had a bad temper in private. She once saw this beauty scolding and beating a palace maid just because she did something wrong. Being banished to the cold palace could be considered retribution. The little fox jumped into Hu Qing's arms. Hu Qing tapped the tip of her pink nose and said, "You little thing." His affection for her was obvious. Ning Shu was speechless. Hu Qing was willing to do anything to make the beauty smile. Looking at the smug look on the little fox's face, he was really a fox exploiting the tiger's might to the fullest. Her face was ruined and she was banished to the cold palace. Beauty Lin was stunned on the spot. It wasn't until a guard came to take her off that she reacted. She screamed in horror, Your Majesty, this concubine is innocent. This concubine was wrong. Your Majesty, please forgive this concubine." Beauty Lin's clothes were taken off, and her face was covered in blood. She looked particularly miserable. Everyone was on tenterhooks. They weren't happy because there was one less person to compete with. Instead, they felt a sense of sadness. To end up like this because of an animal was simply ridiculous. Ugh, ugh. Noble consort Xian, who was sitting below Ning Shu, covered her mouth and vomited when she saw the bloodied Beauty Lin being dragged away. Noble consort Xian wanted to hold it in, but she vomited even more violently. Ning Shu's eyes flashed when he saw noble consort Xian like this. He hurriedly said to Qing Zhu, "Quickly call the imperial physician over. The noble consort isn't feeling well." Noble consort Xian looked like she was pregnant. "Find another imperial physician to take a look at Beauty Lin," Ning Shu said quietly. It wasn't a big deal. Ning Shu was willing to help. Qing Zhu nodded and left. Everyone looked at noble consort Xian with envy. Hu Qing seemed to have guessed it too. He frowned and subconsciously hugged the little fox in his arms. The imperial physician hurried over. Before he could bow, Ning Shu said, "No need for formalities. Take a look at the noble consort's body first." "Yes." The imperial physician hurriedly took noble consort Xian's pulse. Hu Qing's face darkened. He was clearly unhappy with Ning Shu's actions. Hu Qing really regretted it now. He had impulsively taken advantage of noble consort Xian. If he hadn't been so tempted by he wouldn't have taken advantage of a consort. "Congratulations, Your Majesty." "Congratulations, noble consort Xian. You're almost 2 months pregnant." The imperial physician withdrew his hand and said with a smile. Hu Qing's heart tightened. He didn't say anything. Ning Shu smiled at the surprised noble consort Xian and said, "How come you didn't realize you were pregnant?" "Your Majesty, my period was irregular." I didn't mind. I didn't think I would be pregnant. Noble consort Xian's eyes were watery. She hadn't been pregnant since she entered the palace. This sudden surprise almost made her faint. This should be the only time Hua Qing had taken advantage of a consort recently. She didn't think he would be so lucky. Since you know, you should take good care of yourself and give Chen Wang a little brother. Ning Shu said with concern. Thank you, Your Majesty, for your concern. Noble consort Xian touched her belly with a loving expression. She then said to Hua Qing, Your Majesty, I will take good care of myself and give birth to a child. Congratulations, Your Majesty. Congratulations, Your Majesty. All the consorts suppressed their jealousy and congratulated noble consort Xian. Noble consort Xian was so happy that she almost cried. There was a joyous atmosphere all around. However, when little Fox found out that noble consort Xian was pregnant, her entire person, no, her entire fox, was stunned. Her heart was pounding. She was filled with anger and anger. When she saw the smile on the Empress' face, she thought bitterly, what a hypocrite. Your husband is pregnant with another woman and you're so happy. You want to kill someone, but you're still pretending to be smiling. What a hypocritical woman. It was simply disgusting. Little Fox was very sad. The Empress had Hua Chengwang before she met Hua Qing. But now, Hua Qing doted on her while he was pregnant with another woman. Little Fox felt betrayed. Her heart was very small and could only fit one man. But she also wanted that man to only have her in his heart. Hua Qing was the emperor and she was a pet. She took him seriously just because he teased her. Hua Qing panicked when he saw the little fox crying. Little Fox jumped out of Hua Qing's arms and looked at noble consort Xian, who was smiling like a flower. She was so sad, but the other party was so happy. Little Fox pounced at noble consort Xian and noble consort Xian's stomach was hit by Little Fox. Hua Qing frowned and looked at Little Fox. Little Fox looked at Hua Qing stubbornly. Seeing the shock and disapproval in Hua Qing's eyes, Little Fox's heart ached. She turned and ran away. They were all liars. She shouldn't have trusted men, Little Fox thought angrily. Hua Qing wanted to chase after Little Fox, but the situation was so chaotic that he couldn't just leave. Chapter 239. Imperial concubine Xian, who was hit in the stomach, held her stomach and screamed. It happened so fast that no one could react. Only when they heard Imperial concubine Xian's painful moan did they see that Imperial concubine Xian's dress was red. Quick, doctor, check on the Imperial concubine and try to hold the baby. Ning Shu quickly said to the doctor. Imperial concubine Xian was sitting on a chair. Her dress was stained with blood. Her face was very pale and she was crying. She reached out her hand to Hua Qing. Hua Qing hesitated and held Imperial concubine Xian's hand. Seeing that Imperial concubine Xian was very weak, Hua Qing said in despair, Emperor, please save our child. Hua Qing didn't say anything. He just nodded. Imperial concubine Xian's face was getting paler. Even with the doctor's acupuncture, the bleeding couldn't stop. Ning Shu watched from the side and shook his head. Imperial concubine Xian couldn't keep the baby. Emperor, Imperial concubine Xian's body was very weak. She couldn't get pregnant. The baby was unstable and was hit hard. I am useless. Imperial concubine Xian has had a miscarriage. The doctor knelt on the ground and kowtowed. Imperial concubine Xian endured the pain and fainted. She didn't know anything. Hua Qing's face flashed with a strange joy, but it quickly disappeared. He coldly said to the doctor, do your best to nurse Imperial concubine Xian's body back to health. No matter what medicine you use it. You must nurse Imperial concubine Xian's body back to health. I will remember. The doctor saw that Hu Qing didn't blame him and wiped away his cold sweat. Emperor, it is windy in the garden. Take imperial concubine Xian back to her palace, Ning Shu said to Hu Qing. Hu Qing's face was a bit strange. He hesitated a bit before carrying imperial concubine Xian to her palace. Ning Shu saw Hu Qing's hesitant face and despised him. He was happy to hug an animal, but when he was asked to hug his woman, he acted like he was a germaphobe. Chen Wang, go back first. Ning Shu asked Qing Zhu to take the two children back. Hu Qingwang grabbed Ning Shu's clothes. Ning Shu asked, what is it? Mother, be careful. Hu Qingwang quietly said to Ning Shu, father smiled just now. Ning Shu was slightly stunned and asked, when? Her attention was all on imperial concubine Xian, so she didn't notice Hu Qing's expression. It was when the imperial physician said that imperial consort Nyang Nyang's child couldn't be saved that this son saw the corners of imperial father's mouth curl up. Hu Qingwang frowned. Mother, you have to believe me. I really saw it. Imperial mother believes in you. Ning Shu patted Hu Qingwang's head. Quickly go back with Qing Zhu. Ning Shu caught up with Hu Qing and glanced at Hu Qing's side profile. His side profile was very cold, which made his facial features even more deep and charming. However, Ning Shu felt a chill in his heart. He actually smiled when his woman had a miscarriage. Soon, they arrived at imperial concubine Xian's bedroom. Hu Qing placed the unconscious imperial concubine Xian on the bed and then said to the imperial physician, treat imperial concubine Xian well. Hu Qing stood by the bed, but his eyes kept looking outside the hall. Ning Shu said, Empress, Zhen still has matters to attend to. You stay here with imperial concubine Xian. If there is anything, send someone to report to Zhen. Ning Shu didn't even want to look at Hu Qing. She lowered her head and said, Emperor, imperial concubine Xian's miscarriage wasn't an accident. She was hit in the stomach by a little fox. Qinxie feels that an explanation should be given to imperial concubine Xian. The little fox harmed the imperial heir and shouldn't be let off so easily. The other concubines in the hall looked at each other and didn't speak. They all looked at Hu Qing. Hu Qing's face twitched. He waved his sleeve and said, we'll talk about this later. Emperor. Ning Shu raised her head and looked at Hu Qing. Emperor, imperial concubine Xian's stomach is also your child. That fox killed your child. Why don't you seek justice for imperial concubine Xian and the child? It's just an animal. Just beat it to death. Shut up. Hu Qing couldn't help but interrupt Ning Shu's words. Then he realized that he had lost control of his emotions. He lowered his voice and said, Zhen will compensate the Empress for this matter. As for the little fox, it's just an animal that doesn't know anything. Can Zhen's child come back if I beat it to death? Wouldn't Zhen be sad to lose the child? Compensate imperial concubine Xian, but the culprit was completely fine. He was so cold. Even though Ning Shu had experienced several worlds, she couldn't help but feel a chill in her heart. Even a vicious tiger wouldn't eat its cubs. And Hu Qing actually wanted this child to disappear so that it wouldn't affect his relationship with the little fox. If he wasn't cold and heartless to other women, it seemed that he couldn't show his affection for the female lead. Ning Shu suppressed the anger in her heart and said faintly, Qinxia understands. Take care, Emperor. Hu Qing turned and left. His back was a bit embarrassed. Empress, are we just going to let it go like this? Concubine Ning Shu asked. Ning Shu waved her hand. You can go back. If you have nothing to do, stay in your palace and don't wander around. Yes. The concubines retreated, but everyone's expression was very gloomy. If a concubine had a miscarriage before, of course, they would gloat. But now, everyone's heart was weighed down by a stone, and it was heavy with uneasiness. Basin after basin of bloody water was carried out. After a long time, the imperial physician came out of the side hall. Ning Shu asked, "How is imperial concubine Xian?" The imperial physician shook his head. Imperial concubine Xian's body is severely damaged. It will be difficult for her to get pregnant in the future. Ning Shu sighed. The palace was really a gloomy place. Ning Shu said, "Try to nurse her back to health. No matter what medicine is used, it will do." Even His Majesty said so. The imperial physician nodded. Ning Shu walked into the bedchamber. There was a strong smell of blood inside. Imperial concubine Xian was lying on the bed with her hair disheveled. Her face was as white as paper, and her complexion was very poor. Her exposed shoulders looked very thin, making people feel pity for her. Ning Shu sat by the bed and took a handkerchief to wipe the cold sweat on imperial concubine Xian's forehead. The little fox was lucky to have Hu Qing's lifelong love. But what about the women in the harem? How cruel was he to so many women in the harem? If he didn't like her, then he shouldn't have chosen so many women to enter the palace. Such a beautiful woman might be happier if she married someone else. "Empress, let me do it." Imperial concubine Xian's maid, Ning Shu, said. Ning Shu nodded and gave the handkerchief to Imperial concubine Xian's personal maid. "Empress, the smell of blood in this hall is very strong. Please move." The maid, Ning Shu, said. The maid's eyes were red as she endured the pain. Ning Shu said indifferently, "It's fine. I will wait here for Imperial concubine Xian to wake up." Qing Zhu sent the two children back and then came over. She stood beside Ning Shu and waited for Imperial concubine Xian to wake up. "Qing Zhu, pour me a glass of water." Ning Shu felt very thirsty. Imperial concubine Xian woke up at night. When she saw Ning Shu by her bedside, she was stunned for a moment. Then she hurriedly touched her stomach and cried, "My child, my child, my child." Her voice was like a blood-sobbing cuckoo, sorrowful and desperate. Chapter 240. Lady Xian was devastated. When her emotions stabilized, Ning Shu wanted to comfort her. But when the words came out of his mouth, he didn't know what to say. Could it be that she would have a child in the future? First of all, Lady Xian's body was injured, so it would be difficult for her to get pregnant. Secondly, Hu Qing had to keep his chastity for the little fox. He didn't even want to enter the harem. Lady Xian's body was very weak. After a heart-wrenching cry, her body trembled. Her forehead was covered in cold sweat, and her hair was wet. How did the emperor deal with that fox? "My child is gone. I just learned of his existence, and he's gone." Lady Xian hammered her chest with her hand, tears streaming down her face. This was the plane's cannon fodder. They decorated the lives of the protagonists, but they were also flesh and blood. They could feel pain and sadness. Ning Shu sighed and said, "The body is the foundation. Without a good body, how can you take revenge?" Lady Xian looked at Ning Shu and sneered. She said sarcastically and sadly, "You must be very happy right now." "Why would I be happy? Something like this is not something to be happy about." Ning Shu raised his eyebrows and said in surprise. Lady Xian smiled sadly. "I don't have a child now. Your child is no longer a threat. Your Highness, I'm tired. I want to rest." Ning Shu said indifferently, "Let's not talk about whether the child in your belly is a boy or a girl. Even if it's born, it won't be a threat to me. I'm the Empress and my child is the eldest son. As long as I don't make any mistakes and my child doesn't make any big mistakes, my child will be the first in line to the throne. Besides, I still have the marshal's mansion behind me." Xiao Xiao had such a good card in her hand, yet she ended up in the end. It was only love and jealousy that made her lose her mind. If Xiao Xiao had been more rational and ruthless, she wouldn't have ended up like this. If a woman wasn't ruthless, her status wouldn't be stable. Xiao Xiao could only blame herself for falling in love with an emperor. Not everyone was a little fox who could turn a cold and hard emperor into a soft and gentle one. Imperial concubine Xian was stunned by Ning Shu's straightforward words. Her body trembled even more violently, and she cried silently. It was even more heartbreaking than before. Her face was filled with despair, indifference, and sadness. Ning Shu said, "The emperor will give the Grand Preceptor's mansion an explanation. He will compensate you." Noble consort Xian was the granddaughter of the Grand Preceptor, who had assisted 2 generations of emperors. Although she had retired, she was still very influential in the imperial court. Compensation? My child is gone. Can you return my child and let my child come back to life? I've been waiting for this child for countless years, but I still haven't felt his existence. Seeing that the imperial consort was crying, Ning Shu questioned. Please forgive me, Your Highness. My imperial consort is too sad. She didn't mean to offend Your Highness, Imperial consort Xian's personal maid explained hurriedly. Ning Shu waved his hand and didn't care. The personal maid said to Imperial consort Xian, Your Highness, before you woke up, the Empress wanted to seek justice for you in front of the Emperor. She wanted to kill the little fox, but the Emperor didn't agree. Imperial consort Xian was stunned for a moment, and then she said, Thank you, Your Highness. You and I are both women. I can understand your pain, Ning Shu said. Have a good rest. Imperial consort Xian was helped to lie down by the maid. At this moment, the sound of hurried footsteps came from outside the palace garden. Ning Shu and Qing Zhu said, Go out and see what happened. Yes. Qing Zhu went out for a while and then came back in. She glanced at Imperial consort Xian on the bed without saying anything. Imperial consort Xian said in a hoarse voice, Tell me, what happened? I am just a person who is waiting to die. What can't I accept? Your Highness, Qing Zhu said to Ning Shu, there are Imperial guards outside. Imperial guards? Why are they walking in the palace so late at night? Ning Shu frowned. Qing Zhu glanced at Imperial consort Xian and said, I heard that the little fox disappeared in the afternoon. They haven't found her yet. The Emperor is worried, so he sent people to look for her. Ha! Ning Shu sneered. Imperial consort Xian clutched the quilt so tightly that her knuckles turned white. Tears flowed down from the corners of her eyes. Ning Shu really thought that Hu Qing was as cold as a beast. His woman had a miscarriage, but he still cared about the little fox who made a mistake. Imperial consort Xian, take care of yourself. There will be a good show to watch in the future. If you want to take revenge, you have to take care of yourself, Ning Shu said to Imperial consort Xian. Even if you are sad to death now, no one will care. Ning Shu stood up and patted Imperial consort Xian's cold hands. Get up. You will see what you want to see. Let's do it together. Farewell, Your Highness. This concubine will remember what Your Highness the Empress said today. Imperial consort Xian looked at Ning Shu with a determined look. There was a burning light in her eyes, a flame of hatred. Ning Shu turned and walked out of Imperial consort Xian's palace. Walking in the Imperial garden, he saw Imperial guards holding lanterns and shuttling between the fake mountains and trees. Obviously, they were looking for the little fox. Ning Shu curled his lips. Since they loved each other so much, he would let them be together in the future. Your Highness, does the little fox know some sorcery? Why is the Emperor like this? Qing Zhu felt strange. Sorcery? Perhaps. Ning Shu said ambiguously. When Ning Shu returned to her palace, where Wang was still waiting for her. Ning Shu felt as if a fire had been lit in her heart. She felt warm. She didn't treat this child as her own. She just wanted him to stop running around and causing trouble with the little fox. However, this child returned her sincere feelings. Chengwang, it's so late. Why aren't you sleeping? Ning Shu asked the two children. Go to sleep. Seeing that his mother had returned, Hua Chengwang let out a sigh of relief. He said, there is always a commotion outside. I can't sleep. If he was waiting, then he was waiting. Why did he have to find an excuse? Ning Shu rubbed Hua Chengwang's forehead. Mother, is Imperial Consort Xian alright? Hua Chengwang asked. Does Chengwang not have a little brother or sister? Ning Shu nodded. Hua Chengwang was a bit disappointed. He asked Ning Shu, I feel that Imperial Father has changed. He has changed so much that I almost can't recognize him. Love can change people. Ning Shu drank a mouthful of water. It's late. Go to sleep. Love? Hua Chengwang looked at Ning Shu in confusion. Mother, what are you talking about? What love? Your Imperial Father is like a young boy who has fallen in love. Ning Shu said with a smile. He had done something unbelievable for the person he liked. Hua Chengwang continued to ask, Imperial Father's love with who? Go to sleep. Mother is tired. Ning Shu didn't want to talk about this with Hua Chengwang. You're tuning in to the Blissful Bookshelf YouTube channel. We're so grateful for your support, and don't forget to subscribe to join us on this incredible journey through captivating stories. Your generosity through donations truly makes a world of difference, as it's the primary source of revenue that allows me to expand and enhance this channel for you. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for being a part of this adventure.